Now the Flyers, Zezel fights in the zone, just having a tough time getting past Sandstrom. Back to Marsh, up the middle, and Derek Smith will turn into the neutral zone against Price and Melnick. Now loses the puck to the far side. Just skated off, and the Rangers get it up trying to find Erickson on Marsh. They race as the loose puck is in the near part of the Philadelphia zone. Marsh looking for support, doesn't want to throw it unless there's somebody there. Pushed into his own defensive left corner by Erickson. Digging it out, the Flyers are around to Samuelson. Looks up, puts it on Derek Smith's skate, and he comes with Zezel 2-on-2. They crisscross, and again the Flyers drive from center ice, and bangs off the glass, and it's one shot and out. As the Rangers lift it off the glass near side, and it skitters into the Philadelphia zone. 5:15 remaining in the period, and they're playing it four-side. Eklund, fine opening down that right wing side, runs into traffic. Patrick takes the puck away. He's checked, rolls it up on the far side, and dug out by McCrimmon toward the net. And Craven is bumped off by Huber as the pass went wide, and the Rangers get it up at center. Taken away by McCrimmon to Howe at the Flyer line. Retreating back along the right side, and here they come up at center. They have an open man on the left, and it goes off Craven's skate deep into the Ranger zone. He's tied up by Huber. Patrick around behind the net, stops left, looks, comes back right, and then goes out to the left side and jabs it off the glass far side and all the way down, and the Flyers in retreat to pick up the puck as Hextall bumps it off to McCrimmon down that right side. DeBlois is out there now along with Maloney. Again, far side. There's a steal by DeBlois. Through to Maloney at center ice. Flyers get a man back in 4 seconds, and then we'll have an abortive power play. Oh, there's a break in. Greshner's there. Shot. And he was right in as the penalty is over. The Flyers on a power play, but they'll never get it up the other end of the ice. Hextall gives it away in front. It's back to Huber as the penalty is over to New York. Around behind the net to Maloney. Maloney moving around Howe. In comes Pullen to take it away and starts to move her up at the Philadelphia line, but he's through so much traffic as the Rangers are putting on just a marvelous display of defensive hockey. They aggressively forecheck. The Flyers have not had any passing alleys. Then there's a trip up at center ice as DeBlois pulled out the skates from Kropp, and the Rangers then on the ensuing drive send it all the way down the ice. Hextall gets it up to Samuelson. Penalty box is empty. 3:45 remaining in the first period, and there's a giveaway at center ice. Dion back to Pat Price to Melnick. Up the middle of the ice, Melnick chips it into the left of Hextall, comes out, bounces off him, cleared right out in front by Hextall. Jeff Jackson in front, shot, save off Dion, and Hextall almost again caused his own miseries. Zezel back into the zone and just skated off, and the Rangers pump at the center. Hextall tried to unload, the Rangers picked it off. Jackson right in front to Dion. And the second all-time point producer in the NHL was stopped by the goaler, Jeff Jackson in the corner. Flyers take it around behind the net. Kerr putting it in front. Shot by Kropp. That's blocked off from McCrimmon. And off the side of the net, offensive left corner to Kerr. Kerr looks. He's tied up behind the net by Melnick. The bounces cleared out by Dion to his own left wing corner. He can't get out, but overskating is Philadelphia. And Jeff Jackson lifts it down the right side at the Flyer line. Cleared past Dion to center ice with 2:45 remaining in the period. Rangers tied up at center ice. No play there by Kulak. And we get a stoppage. 2:40 remaining, first period from the Spectrum. We have no score in the game.
We were answering an emergency call for Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages.
They're crawling out of the woodwork.
Termites, sir.
Yellow Pages like these.
Frank?
This guy says he's got more than Yellow Pages.
Sure.
I say, what more can I want than genuine Yellow Pages?
From Bella, Pennsylvania. The book your customers buy from. The book that built your business.
So, what do I do with these?
You're the exterminator. Think about it.
Don't be fooled. Advertise in the genuine Yellow Pages. From Bella, Pennsylvania.
We wrote the book.
Flyers had control of the puck in their own zone. They just gave it away, and all of a sudden, Dion, all alone at the hash marks, gets off a quick shot, but Hextall was right there anticipating and making the save.
Shots are 12-8 Rangers. The margin of play in the period has been a wide for New York. Philadelphia lifts it in. Out there is Carson along with Brown and Stanley. Defensively, McCrimmon and Howe. Duguay, boom, at his own line by Philadelphia's Brown. McCrimmon going through the left side, and Stanley had an opening down the left wing, and it bounced over his stick, and that went a warning. Now up on the far side, Brown bumps another man, bumps Duguay, and the Flyers take it off, but it was taken by Lindsey Carson coming out of the Ranger zone looping, and that put him on the stoppage of play.
That line of Brown and Stanley out there with Carson at center, at least they've got the Rangers looking because they know that all three of those guys are not going to stick check. They're going to come after you and they're going to take the body.
2:13 remaining in the first period. Flyers have only scored one first-period goal in the 4 games coming into tonight. That was the Marsh goal in game number 2 at 17:42 of the opening period. Rangers have scored 3. The teams are even at 6 in the second period. Flyers have their edge in the third, 7-3. Duguay, along with Sandstrom and McPhee. Huber back with Patrick. Now, a little aggressive forechecking by McCrimmon, and the Rangers get it up into center ice. Brown back with McCrimmon out of position into the zone. Drop pass, and Lindsey Carson trailing, comes back the other way. Flyers have a 3-on-2. Carson over the line. He's got McCrimmon as a trailer. Stops, loses the play, and it's tapped back at center. And here comes Sandstrom against Howe. A little trail pass trying to find Greshner, and right there again was Lindsey Carson. As the Flyers have not found the answer to getting anything in on Bob Froese. Now they go through to Poulin, but it's a 2-line pass coming out of the Flyers zone across the center ice red line.
Scoreless on the scoreboard here with 1:36 remaining. The Rangers are out shooting the Flyers here in the first period, 12-8, and have had much the better scoring opportunities. They've had 3 power plays. One time they had a 2-man advantage, but Hextall's been big when he had to be for the Flyers.
Derek Smith, Mellenby, and Craven now to replace Poulin. Crossman with Marsh. The Rangers go McKechnie on the right, centered by Podupny, with Greshner and Melnick. Again, in the absence of Kurt Giles, the 6th of the Rangers down to 5-some, so they'll have to split a shift here and there. Puck behind the net. Greshner is the other defenseman out there with Melnick. Puck behind the Flyer net. 1.5 left, scoreless first period. Not have been an attractive one for Philadelphia, though it is scoreless. Marsh leading the charge into the zone. Got to pick up his position. There's a drop pass and a shot wide, and the rebound comes out the center, and the Rangers have a 2-on-1 with Marsh back. Over the line, McKechnie. Shot deflected wide by Crossman. And in that far corner was Jan Eriksson as the Flyers now come up the center ice. Marsh's penetration, nobody picked up. There's going to be a penalty against New York. And a shot wide by Tocchet, and it's touched up with 58 seconds remaining in the period. The Flyers now have a full legitimate power play staring them in the face.
Time of that penalty is going to be 19 minutes and 2 seconds. It's a hooking penalty to McKechnie. So the Flyers will have their second power play opportunity. The face-off will be down in the Rangers zone to the left of goaltender Bob Froese. Craven just makes the move, just puts the hook from McKechnie from behind, and Tocchet keeps going to the net with that puck and has a darn good opportunity in the backhand, but just shoots it wide. So the Flyers are on the power play.
McKechnie, 12 minutes on the playoff. 5 penalties in the game, 2 to the Rangers. Philadelphia had an 8-second power play. This is their first legitimate one. They come in right now at 2 for 26. Offensive right circle face-off. Kerprop, Zezel, Crossman, and Howe. Rangers will put Maloney out with Duguay and Huber with Patrick. The linesman is Sweet Knox. Drop back to Crossman into the corner to Zezel, trying to get it back against Maloney, and Maloney sits on the puck, and we'll get another offensive right circle face-off. 52 seconds remaining on the penalty. If the Rangers get any effect out of this, the fact that the 2 minutes are divided between the 2 periods, so the Flyers cannot sustain longer than 52 seconds on this drive before the end of the first session. Kerr against Duguay. Puck is dropped right through the goal mouth. Zezel is pulled down, and the Rangers chipped it out to center ice. Zezel was sat on by Willie Huber. There's almost a steal by Duguay. Duguay has been the veritable example of perpetual motion in this series. That has been the big trade for Chris Contos, brought from Pittsburgh. Prop over the line, a wraparound. Froese slows it down for Patrick, tries to lift it up on the near side. It's cleared but not out. Prop tries to go into the corner, and it lifts off the stick of a Ranger into the seats near side, so the Flyers get a break with an offensive top of the left circle face-off. 24 seconds remaining in the first period.
And the Rangers very aggressive in their penalty killing here. They're just not giving away the zone. They're not backing in. They're not giving the Flyers the opportunity to get inside and set up.
26 seconds left. 24. We'll be at the Garden on Thursday evening, and back here at Game 7 is needed on Saturday. The second round cannot begin till next Tuesday. regardless of who finishes Sunday, today, or Thursday, or next Saturday. Duguay, Sandstrom, Greshner, Huber. Flyers Kerr, Prop, Zezel, Howe, and Crossman. Goes in to Greshner. He'll go around, a wraparound. Can Crossman keep it in? Yes. No control, taken away and sent by Duguay down the ice. Rolls in on Hextall, blocks with the stick. 13 seconds left. The outlet's on the right side for Crossman at center. Left winging to Zezel, and he skated off the puck. Howe takes it, rolls it in to Prop down that right side to Zezel with 4 seconds left. Rangers shoot at the center and will come to the end of what has to be a grade A performance for the Rangers. They forecheck the Flyers, break up their offense, shut them down, keep them away from Bob Froese, and get out of here with a scoreless tie, 5 penalties, 3 to Philadelphia, and the shots 12-8 New York. End of 20 minutes of play from the Spectrum. Game 5, Patrick semis, the Rangers nothing and the Flyers nothing.
In this town, you are what you drive, so I drive a funny car to make a serious point. Look, 2 different gasoline. On regular unleaded, engine knocks out my power. But on Texaco Super Unleaded, I get performance back. Its higher octane helps knock out the knocks. And to help keep the power flowing, the detergent in its Petrox additive helps clean clogged fuel injectors and keeps them clean. Texaco Super Unleaded with Petrox detergent. Superstar power for more car power.
Some people listen to 610 WIP for music, news, and Ken Garland.
But sports fans tune in for us.
Who else has live Eagles, Flyers, and Penn State action? Score! Pat Croce on Sports Medicine. Inside info with these guys, or commentary with Bill Campbell and Howard Eskin. Sports fans listen to all new WIP Sports Radio for us.
No sweat, guys.
Tune to 610 WIP afternoons and evenings, your sports connection.
Traffic is jammed on northbound 73, approaching and through the construction.
Boulevard southbound, slow at Adams, Phase 3.
Copper 1, southbound Delaware Avenue, approaching Dock Street and accident blocking the left lane.
Gerard Avenue, that's about a 25-minute drive.
Jam traffic, half mile.
An accident in Clementon at Route 30 Hillsborough Road.
Inbound West River Drive, minor delays heading into the Art Museum Circle.
I'm Rod Carpenter. I'm John Butler. I'm Sam Clover.
I'm Jim Baddeley.
Walt McDonald with a...
At Shadow Traffic, this is John Brown.
Cougars, Lincolns, Mercors, all at Holman, Lincoln, Mercury, Mercor, and Holman Leasing. Hi, I'm Tom Brookshire, here to tell you not only about great cars, but a great offer, too. Just bringing this ad from the Flyers.
Appeared that one of the prime things the Flyers want to do is to keep their cool, not to get really too excited and too over-anxious.
Yeah, you know, the melees around the net, you know, the skirmishes, they usually take 2-3 minutes, and you know, we don't want to let them have a breather. We want to get to the face-off, let the ref drop the puck, and let's go at it. And you know, we did a better job at this period.
They seem to be playing a very solid game defensively. They're not allowing any penetration to the net that often, and they're keeping you off to their angles.
Well, we expected that. That's why we have to play patient. We can't be able to, you know, have 4 men caught in and, you know, let them have a cheap goal, a 3-on-2 or something. So we're going to play patient. We're going to just try to work them down, and hopefully we can make our breaks that way because, you know, the longer the game goes, I think it favors us because, you know, I think we're in good shape, and we just want to roll the 4 lines and get at it.
Killing those 2-men short situation had to be a real boost.
Oh, Dave Poole and Peter Zell did a great job, and you know, anytime any power play or doesn't get a goal with, you know, 2-man advantage, you know, it demoralizes them. And you could see at the end we started taking it to them because they didn't score in the power play. And when Ronnie Hextall, you know, it even gives him confidence. So if we can kill those penalties off, and if they're good penalties, if we can hit them hard, and you know, they're going to call them, what can we do? But it's the cheap ones we have to stay away from.
It seems like tonight's strategy and the flow of the game almost is carbon copy of the game number 3, the first one up at Madison Square Garden, which the Flyers won 3-0.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, nobody wants to take a chance, and you know, that first period, and you know, everybody wants to come. I got 0-0 in the period, and if you can get that, and even if it's in your building or their building, that's what they want it. Now it's only a 40-minute game, and you know, I think everybody's rested in the room. Everybody wants to go at it, and when we get that, I think we're okay.
3 goals, that has to give you a bit of a smile, even though the series is tied at 2-2.
Well, you know, just keep shooting. They said before the series to keep shooting. I haven't shot that much in the last month, and they haven't been going in. So, you know, it's no coincidence when you shoot, they go in. And like I said, if you can get 4 shots a game, you know, hopefully 1 will go in.
get a real good one from the top of the circle up in New York, and it appears the Flyers have a great deal of success when they shoot from the top of the circles.
Exactly. Once we try to make that extra pass, that's when we get in trouble. If we can shoot the puck and get that second man going to the net, a lot of rebounds are coming out. So instead of the fancy passes, that's what creates 3-on-2s for the other opposition. So hopefully we can just start cranking it and get the guys going to the net.
Well, good luck, Rick. Thanks for being our guest.
All right, Chief. Take care.
Rick Tockett, our guest, and he'll receive a gift certificate to the Little Inn, where consistently good food, portions which are satisfying, and prices which encourage your frequent return will always prevail. That's the pledge for the management of the Little Inn. Stay tuned. Kenny Adelberger in PRISM Sports is up next.
You can't afford to miss this. Right now, get 3.9% GMAC financing or $600.
Ken Adelberger. One period of Stanley Cup Divisional semifinal play complete tonight at the Spectrum. The Flyers and the Rangers, they've played 4 games plus 1 period. Nothing has been decided after 1 here at the Spectrum tonight. We are tied at 0. Now let's check the NHL scoreboard tonight. We take you to the Cap Center in Washington, where the Islanders are visiting the Capitals. And 20 seconds apart, Brad Lauer and Pat LaFontaine have given the Islanders a 2-0 second period lead. Caps lead that series 3-1. Incidentally, Kelly Rudy standing on his head in that game, doing it all for the Islanders. In the Adams Division semifinal, Hartford with Ray Ferraro, the go-ahead goal, they lead the Quebec Nordiques 3-2 in the first. And of course, Montreal has already won their series against Boston. Norris Division, Toronto and St. Louis, just a little bit later on, they are tied at 2. Smythe Division semifinals, also later on, LA leading or down 3-1 to the Oilers in their series, as well as Calgary will host the Winnipeg Jets. Well, 16 years of NHL experience have not dulled the wits of Marcel Dion. They may have slowed his legs somewhat. The points don't come as often as they once did, but the pointers do. And perhaps that's one of the qualities that Phil Esposito recognized when he acquired the veteran centerman. His experience did pay off in LA earlier in the year in molding 2 fine talents into potential superstars. It's a unique story of mentor and protege starring Marcel Dion.
Hardy again, and back to Larry Murphy. Feeds over to Dave Taylor, right at the goal. Zimmer in front, Dion scores!
For many hockey fans, Marcel Dion will be remembered as 1/3 of the famous Triple Crown line. And history will always record the statistics that have elevated him to the second all-time leading scorer in the NHL. All true testimonies to his on-ice brilliance. But long after the playing days are over, 2 players in LA will appreciate Dion for his personal heroics, not for his style of play, instead for his approach to a bigger game, the game of life.
I was his roommate in training camp last year, and he was just asking me, where do you want to live? I said, well, I want to live in the boarding houses for sure, because everything's going to be new, and I know it's going to be tough. Well, after a few weeks, he just asked me, you want to come to my house? And I said, well, that'd be great, you know. I knew if there was one guy to follow, or there's a few guys to follow, I think it would be him, because he's been doing so well for 16 years. And so when he asked me, I said, you know, that's a great thing, you know, for me.
He's a class individual. I mean, first of all, off the ice, everyone, what can you say about his hockey that hasn't been said? He's a great hockey player, but off the ice, that's where I think he really shines. He's just a class man, and he really taught me a lot about just, you know, the way he always was. He was a man of principle, very, you know, he believed in ethics, and he was just a very, very classy individual.
People have been awful good to me, and I told my wife, I says, they've done a lot of good things to me, and maybe I couldn't give enough back to them, but that was a way for me, because I talked to their parents and I said, hey, if I was an 18-year-old and lived in California, I would be lost like everybody else, and I'm just glad that they listen. And that was my token of appreciation. Now I'm gone because I feel that they're on their own, but they can't do it, and I'm really proud of that.
But offering on and off-ice assistance has not been part of Dion's repertoire, citing youthful cockiness as the reason.
What happened here was just a searching on both parts. They opened Marcel up, these young people, and pretty soon he was like a father to them. He found them places to live when we got to Los Angeles, and in fact took one of the boys into his own home, and it was a great relationship. I don't think it was anything that was planned. I think it was just something that happened, and it was a great thing to happen not only for Marcel, but for the young men, too.
When we came in LA, we didn't know anything, you know. The only thing we wanted to do there was, you know, play hockey. And I remember I was saying, I want to play hockey there. And when we walked in there, we said, you know, there's a lot more things than just play the game. There, we got to learn a lot of things. In California, it's a new state, it's a new country for me. And he really helped us on those things. And he was, I think, our best man. It's kind of a, you know, when you're young, you know, he shows you a lot of things about life. Yeah. Well, he showed us about a lot of things about life and about professional hockey players, you know, professional life.
But nothing is forever. And on March 10th, Marcel was traded from Los Angeles to New York, leaving behind the family that he had adopted at the season's start.
It was pretty emotional for everyone because you know, you figure last 6.5 months, every day we were with them. And we got to know him like a lot of people who played with him for 10 years didn't know him like that. And, you know, him and his wife did so much for us that I don't know if we could ever repay it to him, but he's just a great guy.
You know, we cried. This made me very emotionally upset, and a lot of people there, and this hard. And I said, you guys just learned something today. This is a business, and go all out, give everything you got, save your money, and when it's time to go, you gotta go like a man. I loved it there, and they're gonna be friends forever. I'm gonna play against them. I know when Luke told me, he says he was gonna be the first guy to spear him. I says, well, you're gonna have to skate a lot faster than you do now.
And that is our first intermission Prism Sports Report. Time for second period action between the Flyers and the New York Rangers live from the Spectrum. Stay tuned. Ed Van Impe and Bob Taylor will review the first period of action. Highlights and analysis are on the way.
And Hopkins Ford means exciting deals on 86 and 87 Ford.
Here to play here at the Spectrum. The teams are tied at 0-0. The Rangers and the Flyers. I'm Bobby Taylor along with Eddie Van Impe and Gene Hart. Eddie, early in the game, it appeared the Flyers were going to have a pretty good chance to get on the board early. They had a number of close-in chances, not excellent chances, but the one that was a very dangerous one was when Rick Tocchet had that stuffer attempt at the side of the net.
That was probably one of the better opportunities the Flyers had in the first period. Again, they were aggressive. They were going to the net. They were forcing, making things happen. And Tocchet just gets around the outside. The puck is loose along the board, just picks it up, comes around, out in front. Rose sees him. He just stuck it. Tried to put it by for Rose, but not quite. But again, Tocchet was really determined to go to net, and he did, and gave him an opportunity.
Well, that was probably the best chances you mentioned that the Flyers had in that period, and then it was all New York Rangers in the scoring opportunities, and they were aided by a two-man short situation for Philadelphia. But I thought the Rangers played with a little more poise than Philadelphia in the defensive zone, that is.
Well, Bobby, they're giving the Flyers that one chance, and that was it, because every time they took the one shot, the defensemen were able to clear the puck, get the puck out of their zone, and it's awfully tough to put pressure on a team when you only get that one shot, and boom, it's out of out of the defensive zone.
The chances that the Rangers have had have come on miscues or turnovers or unforced errors by Philadelphia, and a couple of them. Howe made save one, and then Dion had a great chance.
Well, great chance here. They're on the power play and just gets it across, and all of a sudden he just one-times it. And he's right at the top of the hash marks. But again, Hextall makes the save. He gets part of it, gets in behind him, and Mark Howe's in perfect position just to reach in there and pull that puck out before it crossed the goal line and cleared it. But again, that was a good defensive play by Mark Howe. He's in great position to make that play. But then just after that, Bobby, the Flyers, Hextall had possession of the puck, and he tries to go up the middle with it, but the Rangers anticipated well, were able to keep the zone. And again, Dion with just a great chance right in the hash marks. Just one time, so Hextall anticipates it well and makes the save to keep it scoreless.
That's where we sit right now after one period of play here at the Spectres with the Rangers and Flyers. Let's go upstairs now to Gene Hart at the start of the second period.
No scoring the first period, 12-8. The shots for the Rangers. Flyers had 3 of the game's 5 penalties, but the last one, the McKechnie of the Rangers, has a minute and 2 seconds to run into the second period. Hextall is the Flyer goaltender to the left. Bob Prose to the right. He's unbeaten in this building. 2 wins, and of course the win on Sunday, so 3-0 against Philadelphia. 4 other series in action. Islanders on goals by Lauer and LaFontaine in the first period lead at Washington 2-0. Hartford 3-2 over Quebec. Picard and Brown for the Nordiques. Francis, Mike McEwen, and Ray Ferrero for Hartford. Toronto and St. Louis scoreless in the first, and 2 games not yet underway. That will be LA at Edmonton and Winnipeg at Calgary. Referee is Terry Gregson out of Guelph, Ontario. Swede Knox, the linesman, along with Ray Scapanello. Zezel, along with Kerr on the left, and Prop. Flyers go Crossman and Howe. A couple of changes here for Philadelphia. Drive into the offensive right corner. Zezel is bumped off by Erickson. The Flyers try to go in deep. Rangers take it, try to get it up ice on the break against Howe by Duguay. Rolls to Howe, to Prop. Prop is bumped by Erickson. The puck slides back into the Philadelphia zone. Up ice too far for Zezel. There is Huber to ice it, but it goes right in on Hextall, so play continues. And now off goes Patrick, and on comes Greshner with the play. There's a check. Steal by Erickson at the side of the net. Duguay looking to come in front. Erickson is checked again. Grabbed by Crossman, pulled down. That could have very easily been a penalty, and the Rangers continue to bedevil the Flyers, and then the Flyers show very little when their outlet passes fail to connect. Now in the zone. Moves it up on the right wing off Crossman's stick. Through to Eklund into the zone, up the middle. Now there's a turnaround and thrown behind by Prop. Past Howe at center ice. And right now what the Flyers need is a hero. They need somebody to light the fire. But now there goes Samuelson in, runs into traffic. They look for McKechnie down that right side against Tocchet. He's going to try to beat him in front. Shot, and a good one by McKechnie as he had just one arm out there and swung it in on Hextall, breaking in from the right wing. Flyers charging back. Derek Smith over the line. He swung to the right. Flyers doing a lot of huffing and puffing, but can't get at the net. They roll it around behind. Eklund has it rolled past him halfway up on the offensive left side. Then he pumps it back behind the net. Marsh is in there. They get it to Derek Smith, rolls it in front. The Rangers pick it off. They go out to Eklund at center ice on with Samuelson. The Rangers dump it all the way down, and it's picked up by Hextall behind his net. Flyers have Marsh on with Samuelson, and they just throw it away at center ice. Eklund is up there with Derek Smith and Tocchet. The Rangers back with Melnick. There's a steal by Tocchet in the corner, shot on. And Tocchet the rebound in front, slapped that by Derek Smith. Shot, rebound, score by Rick Tocchet. Right in on net. Derek Smith took a whack at it, broke it free, and then Tocchet at the side of the net, swinging around from the front right to left, bangs it home.
What happened here is Bob Froese just couldn't control the puck. He wasn't sure exactly where it was, and when he finally saw it, Tocchet was there and slapped it in, and the Flyers take the lead.
Tocchet, who leads both teams in goals with 4, gets the Flyers on the board. And I said they needed a leader. They needed something to happen. Well, it came on the next thrust up ice. Long pop in on Hextall. He grabs. Round to the near side to Howe, and Howe will come up to his own blue line on the near side. Through at center ice, but it skips right through Smith. Rangers give it away at center, and then McCrimmon runs into Tocchet. Puck in the Ranger zone. Derek Smith is pulled off the skates right on the far side by Huber, and that allows Patrick to swing wide to his right past the stick check of Dave Brown. Give it up the middle to Poulin. Poulin rolls it in as the Rangers had 5 men and 2 phalanxes across their blue line. Flyers couldn't penetrate, and then it's iced by the Rangers. Hextall off to his left, shoots it off the glass to center ice. Brown has it there, ups it through to Carson over the line against Huber. Swings in, and then Huber pulls him down as the puck to Greshner behind the net. Peeled up on the near side to Jackson, and threw the ball and past Crossman all the way down. Well, the crowd still is not alive as they have that 1-0 lead. Flyers get the break. There's a play at the Ranger line. Melnick tries to pop it free. Flyers can't go in till Brown comes out, and then doing so they jam it up. Rugby-strum right at the Ranger blue line along their right wing. 3:17 gone into the second period. Flyers 1 and the Rangers no score.
We were on stakeout duty for Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages.
Well, why should I advertise in your book when I'm already in the Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Page?
Well, I mean, how many people are going to use your book? Well, face it, fellas. The genuine Yellow Pages comes from Bella, Pennsylvania. 99% of the public knows it on sight. 85% of them call them businesses they find there.
You see? What? You can judge a book by its cover.
Don't be fooled. Advertise in the genuine Yellow Pages from Bella, Pennsylvania. We wrote the book.
Tocchet's
fourth has given the Flyers the 1-0 lead early here in the second period.
That should be adrenaline. Tocchet and Smith on with Zezel. Crossman with Marsh. There goes Zezel down the left side. Melnick takes him into the corner. Zezel tries to hold the puck. The Rangers take it away. And the Flyers fought back as the Rangers get it up to Eriksson at center ice. Crisscrossing with Sandstrom. His shot. Not much on it, but he kicks it right back to Greshner in the corner. Greshner in front. And it kicks back to the point. There's a wind-up shot wide of the rebound near side. Poke toward the net. Skitters back to the point. A shot directed in front and swept to the far side away from Eriksson by Marsh. And then Marsh behind the net as the Rangers now putting on that we want to get a tying goal heat. Kicks out to Crossman. On Crossman, chip cleared past Zezel. Will go all the way down the ice, and the Flyers will get the respite on the icing as trailing in after it is Larry Melnick.
Flyers give that blue line up rather easily. You have 2-on-2 situations, and they allow the Rangers to come in slowly, gain the blue line, then they have everybody move up on the play. It has caused them some trouble. Single seats, as well as limited view tickets, are still available for the Flyers' fourth home playoff game, which could be played either this Saturday, if it's the seventh game of this series, or next Monday evening, if it's the first game of the following series. These tickets may be purchased only at the Spectrum, some single seats as well as limited view tickets.
Flyers win the defensive right draw, wheel it around to the near side, curl up smartly to center ice. Prop penetrate, goes to the left, loses the puck as it rolls off the stick, tries to put it in the corner, gets it again in front. We're going to get a penalty against the Rangers. Pat Price for pulling down Brad. Oh, it's going to be against McCrimmon. Power play coming up for somebody. 1-0 Philadelphia.
Price, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Flyers penalty, number 10, Brad McCrimmon, 2 minutes for slashing.
Those penalties occurred when McCrimmon was in the side of the net. Price knocked him down, and then Brad McCrimmon retaliated. Terry Gregson called them both. Cross-checking Price, slashing McCrimmon, 4:15 the time.
Rangers shoot it down, and we'll have another icing call. McCrimmon on the playoff year now has 4 penalty minutes, and Pat Price for the Rangers has 27. Flyers have 4 of the game, 7 coincidental minors. They'll skate at full strength on the ice.
That penalty by Price, those are the kind of penalties I really don't mind seeing, because what he's doing as a defenseman, he's cleaning the doorstep for his goaltender. As a result, he cross-checked. He did pick up a penalty. There is no doubt about that, but the man advantage situation was removed when McCrimmon slashed back at him, but a defenseman's got to help his goaltender. You got to clean the porch.
Kerr, Prop, Crossman, and Howe back at the point. Looks, shot just wide of Froze's right as the screen was set up by Kerr, and you could see Frosty look after it went by. Now Patrick leads up through the Flyers zone. He's got Duguay cutting to the net, tries to roll through instead on the left wing side for McKechnie. Flyers break that up, back pass smartly up to Prop, taps through to Poulin, and just managed to shag it through past Huber to center ice. Poulin over the line to Kerr. Kerr in with a shot. That was blocked to the left circle. Prop with a drive in front to Kerr. He slashes at it, and Froze comes up with his first big save of the game.
It was there. It was laying right there, and of course Froze was able to get the glove on it as Kerr tried to deflect that shot from Brian Prop. And now the Rangers are starting to back off that blue line, which they didn't do before. Froze made the first save, and then as it was bouncing up, it hit Kerr in the stick and underneath the arms of Bob Froze. Well, the fans here now are starting to yell, Frosty, like the fans in New York were yelling Hextall at Madison Square Garden.
I wonder if he's saying they never yelled for me when I was here. Zezel, Craven, Meldenby, along with Marsh and Samuelson. Melnick is out along with Greshner, and they have Maloney, LaRouche, who's seen limited action tonight, and Duguay. Puck in the Ranger defensive right corner. Two Flyers in there battling. And they fall down. Duguay in, and they're going to jam it up. Trying to kick it free and doing so. Right out to the left circle. Turnaround by Mellenby. Right on! And Froese again covers the rebound as Zezel was working on it. And then somebody took a shot at Zezel after the play, and it was retaliated by Philadelphia.
That was Melnick. Zezel took a shot at Froese. Froese took a shot at Zezel. Then Melnick came in. Mellenby got a real good shot away, and Froese tried to, Zezel tried to jam that puck loose, and he was knocked down, but then he was falling. He fell right into Froese. Froese took a shot at him. Then Melnick came over, and quickly Craven and Mellenby were in there as well.
We haven't pointed it out, but one skill that Scott Mellenby has is the ability to do that 180-degree turn and not only get a shot, but get it on net from wide angles.
And with a lot of velocity on it.
Offensive right circle again. Duguay against Zezel. Play delayed as Don Maloney, the Rangers, and Craven penetrate the circle. They do it again, and Maloney bumps off his man, and the Flyers see Duguay pump it to center ice, and Philadelphia drives it right back in. Maloney tried to slow down Mellenby as the puck is rolled all the way down. And they say no icing, and racing after it is Duguay, going to put the heat on Hextall. Off the glass and not out. Flyers then jam at the center, and they've got a 2-on-1. But Mellenby can't take the pass at the Ranger line, just picks it up, keeps it in the zone, trying to cross off the left boards to Zezel. His turnaround is wide. And Samuelson had committed to the middle of the zone, wasn't along the boards when the puck came out that way on a Ranger thrust. Buck back at the Flyer line, 5:45 gone in the second period. Now Marsh is pulled off the skates as the Flyers try to penetrate. Very raggedly, there is Mellenby pulled off on a good stick check by Gresham, who turns with the puck up through in the neutral zone with Maloney on one side and LaRouche on the other. Gressner tries to penetrate, cut off, and Philadelphia's curve. 1-on-2, looks like he wants to go all the way through to Propp with a shot. Boom, right in on Froese, but offside. But not a late shot after the whistle. Concur in two.
The teams are going at one another right now. More end-to-end action, more wide-open action, some better scoring opportunities here in the second period, with the Flyers grabbed a 1-0 lead with Pockett's fourth goal at 2 minutes and 2 seconds to give the Flyers the 1-0 lead they currently enjoy.
Pierre LaRouche and Marcel Dion takes his place with Jackson on the left, Kulak on the right. Defensively, they've got Huber and Patrick. Flyers penetrate. Nice tie-up of Poulin by Patrick, who in turn ties up the puck. Dion is lying outside the crease, but it kicks to Propp. Propp, offensive left side, goes back behind. Flyers late in their coverage. Patrick misses it, but Turd is not offensive right side. Now wants to cut in front, does. Backhands a shot that's smothered on the far side as Huber sits on him and lets him get up very slowly. Then it's cleared off to Patrick. Patrick has his skate pulled out from him, and that was a break. Therefore, Philadelphia, no whistle, and Philadelphia now tries to get it through the goal mouth. Nobody there to tap it. Back to Propp. Propp rolls it behind the net where Poulin is waiting. Boom, big check. He's knocked down by Willie Huber, and Huber lifts it high in the air and drives it all the way down the ice. Wide into the goal line, over the goal line. Howe is there, touches up, and then Howe trying to get rid of the puck and touch it before he was approached. Drove it off the body of Swede Knox, and I think his elbow, the old Sweeter from Edmonton, is rubbing that part.
Stu Kulak, we mentioned in New York that he played his first game on Sunday night. Came here to complete that deal that sent the rights to Ray Ruotsalainen to the Oilers. Started the year with Vancouver, was picked up by the Edmonton Oilers on the trading deadline by waivers, I believe, and then went to New York. Aggressive player. I mean, he's a grinder. He's a bump and grind player, much in the same mold as a Derek Smith.
Flyers have Tocchet, the goal scorer, with Eklund and Derek Smith, Crossman and Howe. Duguay again taking that defensive draw with Sansa right in front, and Tocchet just lost the edge as the Rangers cleared around to the near side looking for Erickson. He puts it to center ice. Crossman drives it right back into the Ranger zone. Greshner there, tries to feed it past Eklund. It gets past Eklund and the Tocchet, and here come the Rangers. Podubny at the line, shot, didn't get it all. And Hextall on the near side clears it up on the far wing. Podubny cuts it off, but it comes off the boards to Tocchet. But a gambling play for Philadelphia as Tocchet through at the line, penetrates down that right side to Eklund. Eklund in front, and right there was Derek Smith, but the pass was about shin high, and he couldn't get a piece. There's a tap by Derek Smith. In front it comes again, and the Flyers can't get that clean shot as the Rangers don't allow that alley to remain open. But Derek Smith, just moments before, may have been able to pick one off about shin bone high. Had a goal. Turnaround shot in on throws from the left circle by Smith. Melnick is bumped off. Now in there is Eklund. Eklund is taken off the skate. Fires around behind the net. Derek Smith looking. Pivots back into the corner. Works out of the corner as the puck was poked off the stick by Greshner. Now he's really slashed at by Podupny. And the puck goes to the far side where Eklund digs it out. This is the longest sustained pressure that the Flyers have had. And then the centering pass misses Eklund. It misses Derek Smith, and the Rangers clear at the center ice. And the Flyers shoot it back in shallow with 8:12 gone into the second period. 1-0 Philadelphia. Rangers get it up to Erickson down that right side. Cut off nicely by Shel Samuel. And Marsh has lost his stick. That leaves McKechnie in there by himself. Carson trying to dig it free. He's tied up. Again, Marsh without a stick. Puck behind the net. Samuelson has to unload it. Doesn't get it past Duguay. It bounces behind the Flyer net again. Carson finally gives some help to Marsh. Gets it up and drives it through at the Flyer line to Dave Brown. Brown on the near side drops to Samuelson. Trying to sweep through traffic, and the Rangers take it and shoot it to center ice. Howe is there. Can't penetrate as the Flyers late coming out. Howe ragging it back to his line. Puts it on the stick of Darryl Stanley. And Stanley looks through into the Ranger zone. Bounces it to Duguay, and Duguay turns and ices it. And play carries on as we've gone through 9 minutes in the period. The only goal in the game at 2:02 of this period. Tocchet stuffing home a rebound, Derek Smith. Now Duguay penetrates inside Brown. Drop pass, shot! Oh, what a great save against McKechnie by Philadelphia's Hextall as the Flyers coughed it up and the Rangers almost capitalized. There's a bullet from the blue line by the Flyers. Throws the save up on the left side. McKechnie just taps it through Howe at center ice. On the far side, McCrimmon knocks it up in the air. The Rangers take it off. Goes through on the left wing to McPhee, who's about a stride and a half offside. 9:29 gone into the second period from the Spectrum. Flyers 1 and the Rangers nothing.
Or to miss this. Right now, get 3.9% GMAC financing or $600 cash back on any new 1987 GMC S15 Jimmy for a limited time only. Plus, on specially equipped models, get air conditioning at no extra charge. A $745 value. You could save a total of over $1,300.
GMC Truck. It's not just a truck anymore. See your Delaware Valley GMC truck dealer today.
Ron Hextall has been on the top of his game so far. Duguay set up McKechnie perfectly at the top of the circles. All four corners to shoot at. He takes a shot to try to go through the 5-hole. Hextall was right there to make the save.
Craven and Mellanby centered by Zessel with Marsh and Samuelson. The Rangers counter with LaRouche, Maloney, and Deblois. Again, has been on that occasional shift, replacing the injured Kissio. And, of course, the Rangers also missing right now. There's a steal. Oh, Hextall's going to try to go out and beat LaRouche. He doesn't. Open net. Score.
No.
Unbelievably bad play.
Holy man. You don't make those mistakes in playoff hockey. The play comes all the way through. There's no chance that Hextall can beat LaRouche to the puck. He missed the poke check, and then LaRouche calmly just puts it in the wide open net. But I think that trailing defenseman has to go to that puck carrier right away. Instead of going to the net, you got to go right over to the puck carrier and force him. Instead, you went right back in there. That was Samuelson trying to play the goaltender. You got to go after the man.
Up ice comes the Rangers. There's a tap play by Samuelson. Slides at the center ice. Now they gave an assist to Greshner on that as Craven penetrates. Boy, you give him your life on the road at home. There's a shot to the side of the net. Craven takes it behind. Nobody in front. Looks, tries to go back, and it's blocked off by the Rangers and sent through at center ice too far for the Rangers' Deblois. LaRouche gets his third. All of them here at the Spectrum, and the game is tied on a giveaway. Of course, the other thing, too, probably, Bobby, if you miss the puck, you make sure you get the man. Puck into the zone. There's Poulin. The Rangers dive and cut off the drive to the slot and then sit on the puck in the corner behind the net. Nice play by Greshner.
You know, it's a shame the Flyers have worked so hard and jumped out to that 1-0 lead, then make a couple of mistakes, and all of a sudden it's deadlocked.
Well, in Washington, the Islanders broke out 2-0, and Washington is starting to come back now. As they've kept the pressure on inside the Islanders' zone. Stevens in front to Greg Adams, who directs it right through the 5-hole, through Kelly Rudy's legs. And it is now 2-1. Islanders over the Capitals in the second period at Landover.
Fulenker and Kropp along with McCrimmon and Howe. Rangers go with Price and Huber. Shot by Kerr, and it skips past the short side. Flyers go back down behind the net. Kropp tries to work and screen off Huber, puts the grab on him. Comes out in front, tried to hit Kerr, misses him. And now here comes Jackson up through at center ice to Dion. On along with the breaking defenseman. That was Huber. Now Kulak out there. There's a play and almost had the Flyers off balance. Philadelphia up the middle, and they can't get that offense going with smoothness. The Rangers have 16 shots in the game. The Flyers have 16. It's 8-4 this period, Philadelphia. Now the Rangers ice, and Philadelphia's Howe will pick up with the stoppage. 8:42 remaining second period from the Spectrum. Rangers and Flyers tied at 1.
My son, the big shot, buys a fancy sports car.
Mom, it's a Subaru XT.
How does a bank clerk afford a car like this?
Check out this dash. Analog instrument panel, twin control pods.
Are you one of those outside traders?
Mom, the XT just looks expensive.
So does the Hope Diamond.
The Subaru XT GL. Under $12,000.
Where you are sitting is only a short drive to your nearest Subaru dealer.
1-1 the score here in the second period, 8:42 remaining. We'd like to say hello to Father John Casey, who's gone to the hospital right now.
Father John Casey at Chestnut Hill Hospital. He's with us tonight. There's a shot by Crossman, cut off, and Duguay quickly outlets off Erickson skate to center ice, stolen and sent back in by the Flyers' Murray Craven. Rose sets it up behind for Greshneron with Patrick. And up front, they go Podubny with Erickson and Duguay. Duguay out because of the defensive circle face-off. Puck to the far side. Flyers keeping it into the corner. In front pocket from Erickson, or from Eklund. Puck blocked and sent by the Flyers in the offensive right corner. Battling in there, Philadelphia and the Rangers. Greshner then is tied up, but James Patrick takes it. We're going to get some penalties. In front, Derek Smith.
It's Podubny, I believe. Podubny didn't want to drop his stick.
I guess both are going off. 8:10 remaining in the second period from the Spectrum in the Big E. Flyers and Rangers tied at 1.
It's to be a double minor here. Podubny's off as well as Derek Smith. Time of those penalties be 11 minutes, 50 seconds into the second period. Scored deadlocked at 2 apiece. The play just started off for the front of the New York Ranger net, where both of them were kind of pushing and shoving, got their sticks up. And as a result, both players pick up 2-minute minors for high sticking.
Smith, Tocchet, and Eklund has been the best line for Philadelphia here in the second period. They've created the most offense for the Flyers. They have also created the most havoc in that offensive zone.
Derek Smith, 8 penalty minutes on this playoff. Podubny with 8 penalties in the game. The Flyers have 5 of the game's 9. Another set of coincidental minors. They'll skate at full strength on the ice. And again, Duguay taking the defensive face-off. Flyers have Brown out along with Stanley, centered by Carson, with Marsh and Crossman. Duguay back there, and then Huber with Pat Price. There's a shot in toward the net, deflected off the drive by Marsh, deflected wide by Dave Brown. Brown in the corner takes a run at Pat Price. Puck still jammed up there, and Terry Grigson calls a stoppage of play.
Flyers are getting out of there. I mean, Tocchet told us that they want to stay away from those scrimmages. They want to get that play going and to keep the pace at a high tempo right now. And hopefully they can wear down the Rangers.
The best way to do it is to go in and take the body every opportunity. That's exactly what the Flyers did here. If you do that consistently, sooner or later you're going to wear them down and tire them out and get some opportunities.
Patience is such a key in playoff hockey. Even though that the one mistake was made and the Rangers were able to tie the goal, or the game rather, you still have over half the game left. So you don't get down too low. You just keep working and working, and if you have the most patience, you can come up with the opportunity, and then when you do, you have to make the best of it.
All right, Stanley and Brown with Carson, still Marsh and Crossman. It's Price with Huber. And LaRouche got the game tied on with Duguay and Maloney. Now there's a knockdown at center ice. The Flyers allow the penetration by Huber. Shot wide. Hextall rolls it up on the far side. And Stanley doesn't get it out. But then the dump in by Huber from the blue line hits Stanley and caroms to center ice. Driven back in by New York. To the near side. Kicked off the skate of Don Maloney. And here comes Brown. Up the middle to Carson. Over the line. Trying to drop a pass. Swings to the left in the corner. Drives it in on Froze. He grabs about waist high. As both Stanley and Brown went to the net. And Stanley knocks down defenseman Pat Price of the Rangers in the goal mouth.
Price was trying his best to knock Stanley down, and he just couldn't quite do it. He ended up on his back, but you can take those bumps. You can take some embarrassment in order to win. You must take some bumps and you must take some embarrassment in order to win. It's actually how it should be said. But again, they went to the net. Stanley stayed up. Price went to the ice. 1-1 the score. 7:24 remains. Second period here at the Spectrum.
Craven left, Mellenby right with Cecil, Howe, and McCrimmon. Sandstrom with McPhee and Duguay. And Melnick with Breshner. Kurt Giles injured in the first period, will not return, taken to the hospital for an examination of a possible elbow injury. Flyers get it back to Howe, can only poke it into the slot, but Craven can't find the handle. Duguay can, and puts it into center ice. Mellenby knocks it down, turns away from the checking of Sandstrom down that left side. Duguay takes him off, the puck goes into Zezel, but all of that is offside. Again, the goal, Tocchet is fourth from Derek Smith at 2:02, and then LaRouche on the gift is third from Greshner at 9:46.
Rangers do such a superb job of interfering. They hold up the Flyer forwards, they set screens, they set picks. They're doing an excellent job, and that's what's keeping the Flyers from really getting a great deal of forechecking pressure on them. Flyers have to start doing that in turn. They're doing it to a degree, but not as effectively as New York.
What's a little damaging for Philadelphia, they've held the Rangers to 3 shots in this period. The fourth shot was the goal, was that giveaway in which Hextall gambled and couldn't make a play. And there's a play in front. Open net. Poked that on a turnaround shot by Craven. Back to McCrimmon with a shot. And that hit 2 Rangers in front. It may have gone off the skate of defenseman Melnick up into the end seats. Late second period from the Spectrum. We're tied at 1.
Over 70,000 screaming fans, and I just caught a pass. Winning or losing depends on me. Depends on a football player? No way.
You want 100% dependability? Try Farmer Dick Barone. He's got one of Philadelphia's strongest lineups.
Low prices, better service. Farmer Dick Barone Chevrolet. He doesn't beat the other guys' prices. He crushes them. Yeah! Bring on the hockey player.
Good opportunity, but that puck bouncing around out there can really create some problems. And Bob Froze made a nice save by getting that left pad down low along the ice to stop that backhanded effort. And then that one there to ricochet off of the Flyers' Craven, then the Ranger defenseman in front up over the glass.
Puck behind Froze, tried to clear it away from Poulin, who blocked it behind the net. He in turn pinched up against the boards by Huber. They can't spring the puck free, and then it comes out to the near side, and it's taken by Patrick up through to Jeff Jackson at center ice for New York. Swings wide to the right. There goes into the zone. Drop pass to Dion, is shot on. And the Flyers try to clear. New get a ragged pass to center ice, but 4 men from New York are back. Flyers pump it into the corner, and now Propp makes a deke right, left, gets around behind Patrick, who takes him off his skate. Poulin overskates in the offensive right corner. Flyers can't get the grip on it. Then to Poulin at the backside of the net in front, behind to Propp. In front, there's Samuelson with a shot. That hit the Ranger Dion as he had nowhere to go with it. Pass in front, and it was kicked deep to the near side by Froze to the blue line, and rolls out off Samuelson to center ice. Propp goes left side, and Kerr will penetrate up the middle, cuts to the near side, gives a pass to Eklund, back to Kerr in front, score!
The strength of Timmy Kerr never ceases to amaze me. The pass was just up in front. Bob Froze missed it. Kerr was right there. He had James Patrick all over him. He didn't get a lot of it, but he got enough of it to redirect it and put it in past Bob Froze, and the Flyers score goal on a mistake by the Rangers, Bob Froese, when he missed it. So they get some sort of revenge as Kerr just uses that strength, gets it off the heel of his stick, and it's in the net for the lead. 14-13 the time of Kerr's second.
Pocket at center ice, slaps it into the New York zone. Kropp got the assist along with Eklund as the Rangers outlet to Erickson down that far side. Rolls it into the Philadelphia zone, and the Flyers tap it up to Derek Smith. Knocked down and carried into the Ranger zone by Tocchet. Rolls it to the left of Frost. After it is Zezel. Zezel tries to center. Rangers curl it up to the near side. Back to McCrimmon at the blue line. He punches it back in the corner, and then Price puts it under his body. And let's see, could have been a penalty. You could see Gregson scoot around the neck quickly to see if Price had held that, and just called to stop it.
I don't think in his position to really
He didn't see it.
Yeah, he couldn't make a call. He was on the other side, but Price did grab the puck and pull it underneath him. He had lost his footing. He was laying on the ice, so the faceoff would be taken in the Rangers zone. But he really didn't have any other plays. He was down, two Flyers around him, just pulls it underneath him, just kind of looks around. The whistle is blown. The faceoff will be taken in the New York Rangers zone. Big goal by Timmy Kerr to put the Flyers ahead 2-1 with 5 minutes and 14 seconds remaining here in the second period.
Pros who finished the regular season with the Rangers at 14-11. Was 7-4 on the road during the regular season for New York. Offensive right circle face-off Philadelphia. Brown and Stanley along with Carson, and they've got Crossman back with Marsh. Rangers try to outlet. Flyers bump. Kick back to Crossman. He's going to come right on in. Shot just wide to the right side of Froese. Rebound back to the left point, and Marsh puts it behind the net. Blocked off on Froze's clearance, taken off by Carson. He's grabbed and spun around by Pat Price, and out comes Duguay up the middle for the Rangers 3-on-3. Coming on the near side with Don Maloney. Duguay in, shot up into the end seats from the right circle off the stick of Brad Marsh.
Boy, that was a nice play by Darryl Stanley to get back and take out Eric Maloney along the right wing boards, which enabled Marsh to just play it one-on-one with Ron Duguay. Had Stanley not got back very quickly to pick up that back checker, you have a 3-on-2 situation.
What Brad Marsh did so well, Bobby, he got him to the outside. He's on his forehand, but he's going to put him to the outside, but Stanley picked up the check.
Erickson is the man, not Maloney, but then now Marsh knows that. He can concentrate on Duguay. If he doesn't think that Stanley's going to stay with that man, then it creates some doubt, and of course, an opening can occur.
Eklund is on along with Derek Smith and Tocchet, McCrimmon and Howe. Rangers with Podubny and Sandstrom on the right with George McPhee. Derek Smith is able to pump it to center. Patrick is on there along with Greshner. The Flyers take a penetration down that left side. Patrick ties up Derek Smith, can't control the puck behind the net. Now digs it out, puts it up on the far side. Crossman is not going to gamble against Sandstrom, who kicks it to the blue line, and the Flyers maintain, put it down behind Froese. But there is Greshner as the Rangers show poise, and then get it out at the center ice area to Patrick. Rolls it into the offensive left corner after it is the George McPhee rolled off the stick and comes to center ice and drifted back in by Philadelphia. 4:05 remaining in the second period. All goals in this session, 2 by Philadelphia, 1 by Tocchet and 1 by Timmy Kerr. There was almost a break into the zone as Craven had gotten past Pat Price, and then the puck didn't go in with him. There's a steal by McPhee. Through at the Flyer line, breaking into the zone. There goes Sandstrom. And as he went to the forehander to get a top of the right circle shot, he was bumped off by Howe, and the puck comes to center, and the Rangers fired off the far board. Sandstrom pass is blocked. He's taken off the corner and into the penalty box far side, and they take the punch at Craven as the Flyers penetrate. Along the near side, they roll it to McCrimmon, pumps it in the corner. Eklund knocks it down, although it's waist high, and he can't control, and Dion then gets it to the Jeff Jackson. He doesn't get it out, but Pat Price now looks up the middle and puts it through at center. Dion is cut off by Crossman as the Rangers now challenging blue line to blue line with passes. There's an offside, and you could hear the call, but none was made on the ice. Flyers have a play. Oh, they had Mellanby in alone behind Kulak, and the pass failed to hit him as the Rangers come to center, and with the puck on the near side trying to find an opening. No play by Huber, and then we get an offside call, New York. 2:51 remaining in a tightly contested second period. 2-1 Philadelphia.
There's a lot of talk on TV about cars with clogged fuel injectors. Chances are you'll never have the problem if you use Texaco.
Because the detergent in its Petrox additive helps clean clogged injectors and keeps them clean.
While the higher octane and super unleaded helps knock out the knocks. Look, two different gasoline. On regular unleaded, engine knocks rob my power. But on Texaco Super Unleaded, I get performance fast. Texaco Super Unleaded with Petrox detergent. Superstar power for more car power.
Well, in Washington, the Capitals have tied it up. Hatcher moving in from the blue line. Has plenty of time, plenty of room, just moves right into the hash marks and just takes the big shot, who beats Rudy and deadlocked that game at 2 apiece.
Got right by Pat LaFontaine and had nobody in between him and Pete Peters or make that Rudy. And after getting up 2-0 in the first period, the Islanders now find themselves back in a stalemate at 2. Flyers trying to come out, Kerr block. Tries to lift it out and gets it to Zezel at center. His pass through at the Ranger line for Prop. Quick shot in on Froze, steers off to his right, but again, long distance shot. Zezel, nice forechecking against LaRouche, ties him up. Kerr trying to dig it out, but instead it comes to the near side for the Rangers, and Melnick stick handles up to his own line and puts it to Don Maloney at center ice. Maloney looking for an opening. He's got a man breaking down the far side. Puck stolen away. As the checking is so tight, now we're going to have a penalty. And it looks like it's going to be against Lucien Deblois as the Flyers trying to pull the goaltender for the extra forward. But they have to be very careful. They already made one mistake in their own zone and coughed up a goal. There's a play rolled up to the middle of the ice and finally touched by Melnick. So we'll have the penalty called at 17:58. And the Flyers on the hook will get a power play, their third of the game.
Just a real hook out in the center ice area. Deblois will pick up a 2-minute minor. Time of that penalty is 17 minutes and 58 seconds. Lucien Deblois, 2 minutes for hooking as he pulled the Flyers down to the ice. The Flyers' third power play opportunity of the game.
And for all intents and purposes, if nothing else happens, the Flyers will have that advantage to the end of the period with only 2 seconds over that 2 minutes. Deblois first of the playoffs, penalties even at 5. Rangers had 3 of the 5 in the second period. Philadelphia 0 for 2 on the power play, 2 for 27. Puck at center ice. Back in the Philadelphia zone. Out there forechecking is Eriksson along with Dugan. Crossman now up at center ice. Slides through to Eklund over the line, down in the left corner. Around behind the checking of Huber to the near side. Gives the puck to Prop. Prop looks back in the corner. Eklund should come out in front for a stuffer. And Froze got down very quickly and covered that area. And Eklund is sorry now that he did not go topside.
The Froze actually committed himself a little bit early. Eklund just gets the puck around the side. Prop just gets it back to him on the backhand. Now he comes right out in front of the net. Froze down. You can see him make the play. He committed himself early. And Eklund shot it low where Froze had everything covered. Upstairs was open.
Prop and Eklund for Philadelphia with Crossman and Howe. Rangers Duguay is on along with Eriksson, and they go Greshner and Huber. Again, if you're missing the name, Kurt Giles injured in the first period, taken to the local Methodist hospital for x-ray examination of an elbow. Duguay wins the draw. Wants to go around to Huber, and Huber, uncontested in his own right corner, should drill it, and does. Hextall will set it up behind the net. The goal scorers Tocchet for Philadelphia and Kerr, sandwiched in between the goal by Pierre LaRouche, that they'll be talking about. By Flyers flying into the zone. Prop shot, and Froze eats it up. Looks off to the near side to Maloney. Maloney can't get out, but he gets some help on the near side, and it's sent through at center by Huber. And then Howe turning in his own zone away from Eriksson to the center ice to Poulin. Poulin's pass taken into the zone by Prop. Prop over the line, drops to Howe, man in front, and he couldn't find any kind of tip there for Poulin, and the Rangers shoot it out. 50 seconds in the period, 48 seconds on the power play. This could be a big venture for Philadelphia if they get that little insurance. The Flyers put it behind the net. Poulin is there, peels it up on the near side. Now Prop slows off the pursuit of Eriksson to get the puck to Crossman. Then at the side of the net, Froze pokes it away from Poulin. Pokes it away again to the near side. Crossman has it right wing corner. Prop picks up his position. Poulin behind the net. Oh, and Kerr fanned on the shot. In front again for a stuffer. They jam at it. Nobody can get a handle. Finally, it's taken off by Huber, put behind the Ranger net. Poulin is there, clears it with 14 seconds left in the period. Kerr has shot at a bad angle. Goes back to Howe at the left point. One time is it. And it deflects to the near corner with 7 seconds left. One pop left for Philadelphia. Now they're going to lose it with 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. Out of the box comes Deblois as we come to the end of the second period. Tockett's fourth from Derek Smith at 2:02. LaRoche is third from Greshner at 9:46. And listen to the end of the intermission analysis about that one from Eddie and Bob. And then the lead goal, Kerr tapping one in from Eklund and Propp at 14:13, his second of the playoff. Oh, they're going to put one more second up on the clock, I believe. The referee, Terry Gregson, saying, let's do this by the book. I think they're going to leave 1 second or 2 on. It's academic. Nothing much can happen. Rangers only had 5 shots in that period, 4 legitimate, since the goal by LaRoche, and we'll talk about that later, was a gift, and the Flyers picked up 15.
Yeah, they're moving the clock back. They're putting 2 seconds on as the whistle had blown and the penalty box had emptied, so the faceoff would be taken in the Rangers zone to the left of goaltender Bob Brose.
3, you can score. I don't know about 2, but the Flyers get a pop.
Well, I can recall in the American League, Gene, a long time ago, Dougie Robinson scored with 1 second to go in the period, so there is time. It's got to be a clean draw with a good, quick, hard shot.
The only time I've ever seen anybody do right off the draw, and you were playing in both games. Greg Shepard did it once for Boston, do you recall? Right from that left circle, and tied a game late on, or may have won it in the last minute, and then Rick McLeish did it once or twice. I mean, right off the draw. No pass, just boom. No setting it up, just driving it in on the net. Now we're going to have all courts of 2, 4, 2. Wait a minute, the Flyers hold it. Flyers have 6 men out there.
And a goaltender.
They could have been tapped for too many men on the ice, as it appeared they might pull the goaltender with 2 seconds. But now Zezel has no chance at all because he is a left-handed shot in the right circle, and he's not going to be able to get it back to anybody quickly enough, although he did do it in a game against the Washington Caps here with 3 seconds left to Mellanby. The puck goes into the circle, shot behind the net, and then we do officially come to the end of the second period. All right, we had a 2-2 score in Washington. The Islanders went up by 2. Back came the Capitals on goals by Adams and Hatcher to tie it. And now the New York Islanders have taken the lead again as the play went behind the net to Greg Gilbert. Gilbert put it out in front past John Blum, and the shot was made by number 7, Greg Gilbert, who took the old number away from Stefan Persson. The play coming out of that corner made by Roger Courteau. 3-2 now, Islanders in the second period at Washington. And here, the shots in the second period, 15 for Philadelphia, game total of 23. 5 for the Rangers, a game total of 17. The penalties in the game are even at 5. We've had no power play goals, each team with 3 pops. That's it after 2. The Philadelphia Flyers 2 and the New York Rangers 1. Like memories of the Flyers Cup years. Bobby Clark, Bernie Perrant, Kate Smith. Help celebrate a magnificent tradition with the Flyers' official limited edition metal poster commemorating the team's 20th anniversary. Order your metal poster today by sending $24.95 plus $3 each for handling to Flyers Poster, Box 72, Wayne, Pennsylvania, 19087.
After 2 periods of play, the Flyers lead the New York Rangers 2-1 here at the Spectrum. Our guest is the Rangers' Don Maloney, and that was a tough period, a grinder. I noticed when we just talked when we came in. And, Donnie, I have to be honest with you, I thought that's the type of hockey, at least tonight anyway, that I would expect from the whole series.
Well, that's what I think that's the fans want, expect. I mean, that's good, tough hockey, and a lot of checking and a lot of hard work out there. And I think it spoils the game when you get all that sticking and fighting, but there's nothing new about that. It seems like this is a annual Springer Fair, like paying your taxes. This is what happens. The Rangers and the Flyers get together, but it's a tough game, and we're hoping to come back next period.
You have such poise out there because you have the veterans. They've been around. And in the first period, you had such control of the game. It just seems like whenever you were going, they were coming, and you just had control of that first 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, Bobby, that's part of our game plan. We're trying to play with a lot of patience out there and really hope that the Flyers get a little over enthusiastic and capitalize on their mistakes. And the first period, we had a pretty good period. We had some good chances. Marcel Dion had a beauty in the slot, and Hextall came up big. And then last period, they just opened it up a little more, and we might have sat back a little too much. And unfortunately, we're down one, and it's going to be tough in the third here.
It's always a tendency to be somewhat a little too cautious when it's in a real close game. And when you're down by one, is it still that in the back of your mind that you still have time to get that one goal to tie it, but you can wait for a little bit?
Well, I think our problem usually when we're down is that we get away from our game plan. Everybody wants to score that goal to tie it up, and I think the key for us in the third is to keep our patience and play the same way. We're going to get our chances. In the first period, we have plenty of chances, and if we get that many chances in the third, we're going to score once or twice. And my feeling is just keep our patience and not press too much, and hopefully the Flyers, if they make a little mistake, will capitalize. We have enough guys to put the puck in the net, and maybe we can send this into overtime and maybe win it. Who knows?
We've talked earlier, and the thing that has impressed me is the play of yourself along with Pierre LaRouche and, of course, Ron Duguay.
Well, it's about time for me personally. I mean, I've been coach for the last 3 years, but working hard, and Pierre's really come alive, and Ronnie Duguay, I think he's been the best forward the last 40 games of the season for us, and again, we're working hard, and this is a pivotal game here. We certainly don't want to drop this. We're still in the hunt now, and we certainly don't want to go back to the Garden and have to win the next two, but we'll have to see what happens.
Well, Don, thank you very much for being our guest.
My pleasure.
Don Maloney, our guest, and he'll receive his choice of a men's or women's watch from the Jules Jurgensen collection, where European tradition and American ambition go into every timepiece. Jules Jurgensen is the official watch of the Philadelphia Flyers. Stay tuned. Kenny Eidelberger and PRISM Sports up next.
When your car knocks driving uphill, does everybody pass you?
Everybody's passing.
I'm well aware of that fact, Eunice.
Oh, it's only a comment, Walter.
And I took note of the comment, Eunice.
Try Texaco Super Unleaded. Its higher octane helps knock out the knocks that can rob power, while the detergent in its Petrox additive helps clean clogged fuel injectors.
Isn't that Werner Lutz? We went to high school together.
By golly, you're right. I thought Werner was dead.
Texaco Super Unleaded. Super star power for more car power.
Today's unheard of car prices, unfortunately, come from car companies that were unheard of not so long ago in America. Cars with little history and an unknown future. But if you want an inexpensive car from a company with a track record, there's really only one. The new Subaru Justy. 92% of all Subarus registered since 1975 are still on the road. Why buy a car with little history when you can buy one with a heritage?
Buy a Subaru Justy for just $54.95.
Good evening once again, everybody, and welcome to our second intermission PRISM Sports Report for this Tuesday night. I'm Ken Adelberger. 2 periods of play complete from the Spectrum tonight. Game 5 of the Patrick Division semifinals, the Flyers and the Rangers. Flyers on the board first. That could be important. Each team that has scored first in this series has gone on to victory. We are at the end of 2. The Flyers lead it 2-1. On to the NHL scoreboard to check out other action around the league tonight. The Washington Capitals down after 2. They were down 2-0. They came back to tie it. Greg Adams and Hatcher, but the Islanders go back on top. Greg Gilbert, the go-ahead goal. They lead 3-2 in the second period. Quebec and Hartford all tied up. John Ogrodnik in the second period tied it for the Nordiques. The Montreal Canadiens, of course, sitting back watching tonight. In St. Louis, Bernie Federko, his third goal of the semifinals. They lead the Toronto Maple Leafs 1-0, that in the first. Out in the Smythe Division later on tonight, LA down 3-1 to the Edmonton Oilers. They will be at Edmonton, and Winnipeg will be at Calgary. The Jets also up 3-1 in that series. Now, Brian Propp has been in the NHL for 8 seasons now. Most hockey fans would recognize him. He's a consistent scorer and a standout left wing with the Flyers. But in the event you have not noticed Brian Propp, he has a trademark. In an encore performance, we bring you the lighter side of the Propper. It's the Propp Guffaw.
This is your basic post-goal celebration. Not too exciting, is it? This is an exaggerated post-goal celebration that does as much for the fans as it does for the player. The traditional, the unusual. Which do you like best? Well, Brian Propp has the answer to that. He's gone from the traditional to the unusual, and he credits this Howie Mandel special as the catalyst.
Don't clap anymore. Don't clap anymore. This will be neat. Instead of clapping, when you guys like something, go like this. And say, guffaw. Guffaw. And it'll be great, because we're always taught that if you like something, you smash your hands together. But if I can break that habit tonight, it'll be great, right? Because it's like you'll be going, guffaw. And maybe tomorrow night you go to somebody else's show and you like what he does, and you'll go, guffaw. And he'll go, what the f*** that? And you can give them like a standing ovation or something. So don't clap anymore tonight. Let's try to break that habit. And if you like something, go guffaw.
A couple of my friends down at the shore, Scott McKay and Ray Miller, had seen a Howie Mandel special. And we started doing the guffaw during the summertime when we'd see each other or waving to each other. We had a good time with it. So as the summer went along, I said, well, this is quite a bit of fun. So I'm going to do it every time I score a goal. And then all my buddies will know that I'm saying hello and that I'm excited about it. So it happened that through the summer we were doing it, and I started doing it after we scored a few goals, and it kind of gets me excited, and I enjoy doing it.
So it's kind of a personal message. Do you hope it kind of catches on through the 17,000 here?
Well, I think it already has. I've noticed that after when I come back to the face-off circle that there's a lot more people that have been catching on, and they're starting to do the guffaw in the stands, and it's kind of nice to see because it's sort of my own personal thing that I've started, and maybe we'll catch on a lot more, and hopefully I'll start scoring a lot more, and a lot more people will be able to use it.
The once shy and reserved one is no longer, and good for him, because the game needs some color. A little personality never hurt anyone, unless you're the other team. Something like the guffaw could be misconstrued.
Well, I think that the fans enjoy it, and that there's nothing wrong with it. Some people might disagree, but I think it's exciting, and there's nothing wrong with it at all.
Have you gotten any flack about it?
Well, maybe just the first game a little bit, because the coaches thought that I was sort of digging in the other team. But after I explained to them that it was excitement and not a dig to the other team, they said that it was okay.
Well, you tell me. I mean, you've seen Mike Foligno go through his thing. You've seen Tiger Williams do his thing. Does that irritate you at all?
Not really. Tiger Williams was very funny, and I think he didn't score that much. So I think the fans they thought it was great every time that he'd score, and then he did that. But Mike Foligno, his jump, I think a lot of players don't like it. But as far as what I'm doing with the guffaw, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. But I don't think that the other teams will take any offense to it.
You think anybody would ever take a slash at your arm when it's up there in the air?
Well, no, I don't think so, because I don't do it right away after I score. I'll go congratulate the guys that passed me the puck, and then on the way back to center ice, I'll do it.
Explain the technique for those fans out there that might want to learn this thing so that they can follow along with you.
Well, what I have to do on the way back to the face-off circle, I will take my right glove off and put it under my left arm, and then not in slow motion, but with a little wave at the start, you go up and then all the way to the roof, and you say guffaw while you're doing it.
Kind of take that arm and just snake it up towards the ceiling.
That's right, but you have to give it that little extra wave right at the bottom to go on before you go all the way up.
And that is our second intermission report. Time permitting, we'll have a post-game report updating all the sports action of the day. Right now, stay tuned. Second period highlights and analysis with Eddie and the Chief are forthcoming. Flyers Rangers, third period action just around the corner. Stay tuned.
Hi, Todd Brookshire at Holman Lincoln Mercury, Mercor, and Holman Leasing, where they have a great deal for you. The team here is ready to give you the shirts off their back. Flyers shirts, that is. Just bring in this ad from your official Flyers game program and test drive a new 87 and get your free Flyers t-shirt. Better yet, buy or lease a new vehicle and get your free Flyers game jersey. Come score with Holman Lincoln Mercury Mercor and Holman Leasing, Route 38, Maple Shade, New Jersey.
Bud Thunder. It's revved up and coming at you.
After two, it's 2-1, Philadelphia over the New York Rangers here at the Spectrum. I'm Bobby Taylor, along with Eddie Van Imp, Gene Hart, and that period, Flyers played much better. In fact, I think they really started to tire the Rangers near the end of the period. They were really jumping on them, and they were in their zone quite often. And in fact, it resulted in the first goal, just dogged effort by Rick Tocchet.
Well, anytime you keep forcing the play, and, forcing the defenseman to work hard and everything else, sooner or later something's got to happen. This is exactly what happens here. The Flyers really aggressive, really making things happen, and all of a sudden the puck is just loose, and Tocchet comes around behind and just jams it in behind goaltender Bob Froese. For Tocchet, that was his 4th goal, and also gave the Flyers that 1-0 lead.
They were in control, and it appeared that they might settle in that in the second period, but then Ron Hextall made a serious judgment mistake when he tried to outrace Pierre LaRouche for the puck. He got there, but he missed the poke check.
Well, I'll tell you, that's one guy, Bobby, if you want to commit yourself, you got to make sure, because he can beat you pretty easy, Pierre LaRouche. This time the puck just goes up through the middle. The puck is in behind. LaRouche is off the angle here. Hextall commits himself. He's out there, but he just misses the puck. All of a sudden, LaRouche is one-on-one with Sammy, just waits till the hole opens up and just puts it in behind him. And again, LaRouche, that was his 3rd goal. All 3 of his goals have been scored here in Philadelphia.
They have, and they've been important goals, too, of course. He gave them the first goal in game number 1, gave them the clinching goal. Now here he tied the game up, but it wasn't long before Mr. Kerr went to work. And as we talked about during the play, Eddie, that his strength is amazing.
We've been watching him for years, and I'll tell you, he just never ceases to amaze you with what he does. But again, if we watch the play real close, you can see Patrick has got perfect position on Kerr. He's inside, he's in between Kerr and the goaltender. But Kerr, just with his great strength, reaches across as Froese is trying to deflect that puck. He misses it. And Kerr, with that long reach, just deflected in behind goaltender Bob Froese. That was a big one. The Flyers lead 2-1.
We've talked about this throughout the regular season, but it's even more important, I think, once you get into the playoffs, Eddie, and that is that you can't really sit on a 2-1 lead. And I think the thing that the Flyers have to do is really force the Rangers early.
Oh, I couldn't agree more, Bobby. They can't sit back and let the Rangers come to them. And by the same token, the Rangers, they're going to be aggressive. They're going to be pinching their defensemen. They're going to be, going for that goal, hoping for a Flyers mistake or whatever, but they're going to be there.
It certainly will. Let's go up now to Gene Harden, period number 3.
Tocchet's 4th from Derek Smith at 2:02. Then LaRouche 3rd from Greshner. That coming at 9:46. The lead goal. Kerr's 2nd from Eklund at Prop at 14:13. Penalties in the game even at 5:23:17. The shots Philadelphia. It is now Froese to the left and Hextall to the right as we begin this 3rd period. Referee Terry Gregson, the linesman Swede Knox, and Ray Scapinello. Pullen, and we had a hole there as a late arrival from the Ranger entranceway to the far end to our left, George McPhee. So Deblois is on along with LaRouche and Maloney. And Flyers Kerr, Pullen, and Prop. McCrimmon and Howe. Puck through, skips past Kerr, bounces in front of the Ranger net where Greshner is on a good series. On with Patrick. And here come the Rangers looking up ice. Pass swept off the stick, swept away from Deblois. Sent through to Prop. He's going to go right in on Froese. Shoots and got it off the top of Froese's glove, and it hit the glass high behind him and ricochets into the far corner. Centering try from the right by Pullen. Rangers pick it off. Maloney up the middle with Deblois on the near side. The pass eludes him, goes in on Hextall. He looks, rolls it around to the far side, and Kerr will come unchallenged up the right side at center, and then doesn't pick up the puck, and the Rangers take it away. Price drops it off, and it's stolen away from Maloney. Through down that right wing to Prop. Prop will get another angled try. Doesn't take it. Cuts in front, puts it in on the net from the side. The save is made, and then McCrimmon in the corner behind the net. Eklund in front. Prop, his shot didn't get it all. Got it on the heel of the stick, and Froese was able to cover down low left and hang on for the stoppage of play. Prop shaking his head, breathing hard, as if to say it was there. And he, along with Eklund, late in the second period, both missed opportunities to go high as Froese had gone down. Pullen from right to left, and Eklund in front, and Prop was there, tried to scoop it, but didn't get much of it, and Froese was able to cover. We're in the first minute of play, 3rd period. Our other games, Islanders lead in the 2nd period on a goal by Greg Gilbert, 3-2. Hartford and Quebec tied at 3 in the 2nd period at Hartford. St. Louis leading 1-0 at home against Toronto. Edmonton at home against Los Angeles. Just underway in the same Winnipeg at Calgary. And both Winnipeg and Calgary and Edmonton can end their series with victories tonight. A little tougher for Winnipeg. They have to try to make it 3-for-3 at Calgary. Now Lindsey Mellenby has bumped off the puck, detains the Ranger from coming out along the near side. There's a battle for Craven. Mellenby trying to dig it out. Duguay is there. The 4 of them evenly divided between the 2 teams scramble just at the Flyers' offensive left hash mark. Finally kicked and played out to Price and up through at center all the way down. And they wave off any icing play as Hextall drops it behind for Marsh. Marsh a wraparound up on the left side, blocked by the skate of Mellenby and through to Craven at center ice. has the puck taken away, and the Rangers look out. There's Dion in front. He was just hooked off by Millenby as the Flyers, again, in their own corner, come to the near side, and Marsh, unchallenged, drives it up at center ice off the skate of Craven. The Flyers, again, not getting that offense going. There's Sandstrom in front, and he was bumped off by Craven. Flyers to the near side, a little poke to Eklund, and he drives it up ice. Now the Flyers making a change as Greshner quickly goes left side, and Jeff Jackson, a bouncer that goes behind Hextall, bounces up. He grabs in the glove, and Marsh sends it out off the skate to center ice to Kerr. Kerr down that right side against McKegney. Penetrates, tries to go inside, does, but loses the puck. Then it's given away by Froese in front, and it went right through Kerr on a quick drive by Tocchet. Now Howe behind the net to Kerr. Kerr had his man in front, couldn't get him the puck. Price ties him up behind. They battle for it. Then it comes out to Kerr, puts it in front, but Tocchet was just half-turned looking where Melnick was, and it came away and to center ice, and the Flyers try again. In through to Derek Smith. He's in alone. He goes to shoot. Save, and the rebound swept out of the way by Melnick. Big throws by Bob. Big save by Froese. As the Rangers coming in. Long drive by Podupny. Philadelphia the save, and Hextall quickly up on the right side to Tocchet. Tries to move inside James Patrick. And Patrick stops first Tocchet and then stops Kerr as the Rangers' Derek Smith buries James Patrick, who gets up right back in the play, and the Rangers shoot it in. Boy, Smith had the break, and he had gotten behind the defense and couldn't put it past Froese as the Flyers will come out charging this period. Sends it up through into the zone. Lindsey Carson is out there along with Brown and Stanley. Flyers aggressively forechecking, and there was Huber avoiding a check, losing the puck to Carson. Carson around, has nobody in front. Swings wide to the right as the Rangers cover off the slot. Now Carson behind again in front. Froese knocks it away. It bounces up in front. Brown takes a whack at it. It goes off to Darryl Stanley, who had no angle at the shot. Back to Marsh at the point. Shot deflected wide, and a Ranger is out there without a stick. James Patrick. Now he goes after Carson, who tries to center. It's behind the net as Brown is without his helmet, and the Rangers said enough of that and ice it. It'll roll all the way down over the goal line, and the Flyers putting on the heat. With 3:47 gone into a scoreless third period. 2-1 Philadelphia.
Pressure, pressure, pressure. You have to keep it up. And Derek Smith got a good shot away. Bob Froese made a nice save. Smith just really using that size and strength of his to come in as the Rangers were desperately, Larry Melnick trying to pull him away from the puck. He got the shot away, Froese the big save.
Play around to the far side out of the zone all the way down. The Flyers have to make the pursuit as Duguay goes in behind for Howe. Ties him up. Howe up on the far side to McCrimmon. Rangers effectively forecheck and have a chance in the offensive zone. Then it's taken away by Prop to Kerr, and Kerr drives from his right side off the left boards at center ice and into the New York zone. In front of his own net, it's played all the way down the ice by Melnick. There's a foot race, and Duguay is just screened off and knocked down by Howe, and that allows McCrimmon unencumbered to touch up for the icing.
Jimmy McVickers pointed out, gentlemen, that the Rangers have only 2 shots on goal since scoring their goal at 9:46 of the second period, and the Flyers have had 10.
A lot of times defensemen can help each other out. This time Howe just interferes with Duguay enough to make it an easy play for his defense partner Brad Marsh to touch that puck, and the icing was called.
That's what the Rangers have done so well, and that's what the Flyers have to do more of, and they've done it picking up in the second period and here early in the third, is to screen that player off. You would think it's interference, and normally, in some years they'd call that, but it seems this year that they're not.
Eklund Kerr prop for Philadelphia with McCrimmon and Howe. Rangers out there with Melnick and Price. They have McPhee on with Erickson and Duguay. Flyers win the draw. Kerr into the corner, tries to break it free, but McPhee is there. Deflects it up to Duguay, and Duguay coming to the Ranger line. Tries to carry him down that left wing for Erickson. He's slowed down by Howe, but the conception of the play was excellent. That just failed to come to fruition. Flyers on the near side try to come out. The Rangers pick it off, drive it offensive left corner. To Kerr, he doesn't get it out. Drive toward the net, knocked down in front of the Philadelphia goal. Everybody overskate. It rolls to the blue line, and finally Philadelphia comes to center. Kerr with Prop over the line. Works to the near side, and it's swept off the stick by Melnick. Price in the corner. Bumps Prop, but Prop's back. And then Melnick has a hole of Kerr, breaks loose, fights for the puck in the offensive left corner. Now joined in there as the Flyers try to center it. The Rangers take it off, and out they come along the right wing. At the Philadelphia line is McPhee with nowhere to go. Wraps it in behind Hextall. Skips to the near side. Erickson is in there along with McPhee to the slot. and it's poked out to the blue line. Short. Now Craven is going to go in all alone. Murray's there. Shot. And Froze with a marvelous save. And once again, Frost the ices Philadelphia's attempt to break open the game. He was in all alone. Now Poulin penetrates. Right pass, dumped toward the net. Froze can't get it. Poulin in front. There was Froze to grab it just before Mellenby came in. 5:30 gone into the third period from the Spectrum. Flyers 2 and the Rangers 1.
Flyers had their second opportunity to go 2 up. Craven all alone, one-on-one, looking everywhere, and the puck curled on him. He shot it right into Froze, but Froze was very patient, stood his ground, well out, challenging the shooter, and the shot comes in, and he cannot find the hole. He even had a second shot at it, but Froze was there to keep the puck out of the net. It's still 2-1 Philadelphia here in the third period.
Poulin Mellenby along with Craven as the puck comes out of the Ranger zone. A bump in there by Craven. Is it battling for the puck? Poulin takes it off and jams it into the New York end. Now the Flyers are trying to make the Rangers work. Dumping it in, forcing the play. Huber around. Past Maloney on the far side from Greshner, and Maloney comes out with Duguay at the Flyer line, picked off from LaRouche, and the Flyers turn back into the zone. The Flyers have 2 men along the far boards, and Craven trying to run a little interference for Mellenby. The Rangers break up. Now they've got Duguay at center ice. They're passed through at the Flyer line. A reverse pass into Don Maloney. Pivots in the corner. Want to set up the offense. Try to roll to Duguay, but Samuelson won't let him go in, and the Flyers jam it high in the air down the ice. And it will be gathered in by Melnick at his own line left corner. 6:18 gone into a scoreless third period. 2-1 Philadelphia. Penetration by Eklund into the right corner. Tries to go behind the net against James Patrick. Pulls the puck out of that corner. In front, trying to misdirect was Derek Smith. The Flyers will get it back to Howe. One-timer wide of the net, deflected in the corner. Flyers trying to get it in front, and Melnick does a nice job of clearing back to the point. McCrimmon keeps it in, rolls it off to a Philadelphian. They bang it off the far boards to Derek Smith. Turn around! And what a shot by Derek Smith, and the Rangers say enough of that and ice it. And we'll get a stoppage of play with the clock showing 13:07 remaining third period, 2-1 Philadelphia.
The Flyers are just overpowering New York at this point. Rangers are really back on their heels. They look like they are somewhat tired or bewildered by this onslaught from Philadelphia. Excellent turnaround shot by Smith, and Froze made a big save. And the Flyers have picked up 7 shots here in the third period to 1 by the New York Rangers, and they've had 3 outstanding opportunities that Froze has been able to make the save to keep this game close. But right now, the Flyers have just completely overpowered New York.
Brown, Carson, and Stanley along with Marsh and Crossman. Duguay along with Kulak. Puck in on Froze, leads to the near side, but this time the Flyers jumping on it. Keep it in the corner. Carson looks to center. He's got a man in front. Shot by Darrell Stanley, and Froze again comes up with a giant save. And then Duguay taps the puck loose. Races for it against Marsh. Open man in front. They try to get it to Kulak. Marsh blocks off the pass by Duguay and then bangs it off the far boards to center ice. That was a saving play. But Darrell Stanley, just moments ago on a good feed, was right in tight on Froze and couldn't beat him as Marsh off the Crossman at the Ranger line. They try to drive in, but it hits the linesman Scapinello. Stays outside the zone. They jam it up in a rugby scrum right at the Ranger line, their left wing. 12:27 remaining, scoreless third period from the Spectrum, 2-1 Flyers.
Bud Thunder, it's revved up and coming at you.
An opportunity for Philadelphia again. Carson just holding on to the puck right up to Stanley, who shot it right away, but Bob Froze played it perfectly. Had the stick on the ice. Should he not have the stick on the ice, it's a goal. And then Marsh really showed some speed as he had a good angle on Duguay, but Duguay has supposedly greater speed than Marsh, but not in this case.
Offensive dump. There is Poulin trying to get in front. Rolls the pass there, but was beautifully conceived as Froze tried to come out and was out of position, but no try. There's a shot in on Hextall by Huber. And the Flyers, Hextall hits his man again, but Propp gets it up through to Kerr and comes with Poulin left and McCrimmon right. Kerr into the zone. So McCrimmon in the corner. Back to Kerr, and he fanned on it. And a nice job by Melnick to lift the stick. The Rangers try to come out and do along the near side. They put it up the middle at the Philadelphia line. No play by McKechnie, has nowhere to go. Then drives it in. The Rangers pick it up and almost put it up the slot. There's an outlet. Tommy Eklund on a breakaway. He goes right on in. Shoots and Froze again beats him. And the play is stopped. Well, Frost is doing the job.
Well, boy, I'll tell you, you can only go to the well so many times and come up empty-handed.
What does all the Flyers do out here when there's 5 guys on Kerr?
Wake up! Get in there. Get in the game. He had a great lead pass from Mark Howe. Eklund moving in. He's going to go to the backhand and throws, just holding his ground. Gets the stick out there, moves across, gets that big catching glove out there, and just makes the save. The Flyers have had this is their third breakaway here in the third period and have not been able to solve Mr. Bob Froese. The backhand, Froese moves across with him, gets the glove up there, and hangs on for the faceoff, which will be taken to his left. 11 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the third period.
Since the Rangers tied the game at 9:46 of the second, the Flyers have taken the lead. The Flyers have outshot New York 17-1. Shots were 16-16 at the point. Now they are 33-18 Philadelphia. 16-2. But the Flyers have only been able to manage to get one of those 16 in on Froese. All right, Eklund remains out along with Mellanby and Craven, Samuelson and Crossman. It is LaRouche getting the draw. Flyers, Samuelson has a little weak shot toward the net, and Greshner outlets at center ice. Rangers can't make the play, and it's back in the New York end. They've got Greshner out there along with Patrick, and the Rangers shoot it all the way down. Hextall drops it off at the side of the net. LaRouche, Duguay, and Don Maloney. Crossman on the near side. Off the boards. Duguay tries to keep it in. It kicks to center ice. Flyers, Crossman has it there. Checked along the near side and taken out by LaRouche. Flyers short a little bit on this side. There's a little roll into the zone. Broken up and chipped into center ice. Tapped back in by the Rangers. Cleared out onside by Philadelphia. Eklund's got a 2-on-1 overload, but couldn't get the puck on the far side. It carries back to him into the circle shot. That was blocked off Craven, and now it comes out in front. No control for Philadelphia, and the Rangers shoot it up to center ice. Out it goes to Mellanby, who stops on the right wing at center. Drives it into the offensive left corner. Now the Flyers bring out Derek Smith, along with Kerr and Tocchet, McCrimmon and Howe out there. The Rangers throw it away at center. Flyers back to Kerr. Now goes off the far side to Tocchet. A reverse pass blocked off by Jan Eriksson. Trying to shift it into the Philadelphia zone, far side, and they get a man beaten. There goes Jefferson in front, and Jackson couldn't make the play, but he got in, and that's the play that Bobby talked about. You put on all the pressure and then make one mistake, and that was nearly it. The Flyers coming up, but they've played so well in this third period. Bobby said they've dominated. Rangers trying to play through, but the pass deflected away. In along Hextall. Drops off for Howe. Howe looks up and puts it into the neutral zone. Jabbed back in and blocked off by Philadelphia center ice by Kerr. Has become a force the latter half of this game. Long way to go yet. We're halfway through the period. Less than 10 minutes remaining. 2-1 Philadelphia. McPhee to Patrick. Over skate. Picks up the loose puck at his line. Pivots away from the checking of Mellanby. Now starts up the middle at the center ice circle. At the Flyer line. Left wing a pass and Podubny shot blocked. Comes out in front. And Hextall made the casual play to clear it out. And the Rangers take it and pump it back behind the net. Crossman up on the far side to Brown. And Brown away too far for Stanley at center ice. Rangers Podubny fires it right back in. And now the Rangers are taking turn. Dumping it in and chasing, hoping for the mistake by Philadelphia. And off to the far side, it's tapped by Samuelson all the way down. And play is allowed to continue, and Froese gave the back-skating Pat Price that signal. Rangers at their line, stop, puck poked back to Marsh. Lifts off the right side, trying to find Brown. He's beaten to the puck by Pat Price. The Rangers get it up to McPhee. Rink wide. Oh, they've got LaRouche offside. Going right on in. Because he was
There's
offside.
a whistle in behind by the Ranger player bench.
And we've got to stop it with 9:01 remaining. Third period from the Spectrum. 2-1 Philadelphia.
When it comes to power plays, I thought I was the best around. But the treasurer from First Fidelity Bank has me beat. You get 24-hour banking at over 350 New Jersey locations. And with an assist from Cirrus, Nice, and Sam, you have the power to get cash and check your balances at 1,400 locations in Pennsylvania and 15,000 across America. Get a treasurer card from First Fidelity. It's the fastest way to your financial goal. First Fidelity Bank, our first concern is you.
Stanley, each 2 minutes for roughing. The time, 10 minutes, 59 seconds.
Sandstrom and Stanley both pick up 2-minute minors for roughing. The linesman's quick to jump in between the two, but it happened right in front of the Rangers players bench. Time of that penalty, or penalties, I should say, was 10 minutes and 59 seconds of the third period. Score favors the Flyers 2-1. A key right now is Philadelphia must turn the other cheek. They cannot afford to take penalties. Podubny was really yapping at Stanley from the bench, and Daryl Stanley kept his cool, and that's what the Flyers have done most of this game, and it's worked well for them.
There's a drive in on Hextall. Deep rebound covered by Marsh. Drives it up on the far side. The Rangers go in deep. That's Price, ties up Kerr. Now McPhee tries to dig it out as Duguay sitting in the offensive left circle waiting for a play out of the corner, and we get a stoppage. 8:41 remaining in the third period, and it is a 2-1 Philadelphia game. Stanley with his first penalty of the playoffs. Sandstrom now with 20 minutes. Penalties are even at 6.
Bob Froese has just kept this game close, and usually when that happens, that crazy bounce occurs, but Philadelphia, of course, will be working harder to prevent that. But you can't really measure the price of goaltending. Even when you're down by one like that, the Flyers had so much pressure. They had 4 10-failed chances to get that breathing lead of 2, and Froese has kept it within 1.
Duguay, Maloney, and LaRouche along with Huber and Patrick. Patrick has it back, looks through a screen, save, and that screen was provided by Maloney. And the rebound by Prop up at center ice has got Kerr open on the near side, goes to Poulin, in front to Kerr, and it skips through Froese. Now McCrimmon on the far side tries to tie up Duguay. Duguay lifts the puck, but not out, comes in front. Now Kerr off to the near side, tried to find McCrimmon, but it was intercepted and sent by the Rangers to center ice, and then driven in to Prop, and Prop was sticked by Maloney, and then faked as if he were going to do it back. As the Flyers take it out of the left wing corner, they look, Prop looks, in front, Kerr just got a stick down, but too late. Now it's packed down behind the net. James Patrick digs it out, chased by Prop, who steals it away. Man in front, and that was Poulin coming in, and Kerr couldn't see him in time and was stripped of the puck. Rangers back at center. Huber down that far side, taken away, but not out. Then it's dumped in behind the net. Flyers cleared off to McCrimmon. McCrimmon looks, rolls it up the slot, and the Flyers able to pull it out to center ice. Little hair raising. Puck back in, and McCrimmon on with Howe, and Howe's pointing up ice to dump it in so he can make a line change. Now to Craven into the zone along with Mellenby. To the near side, and Craven was skated off, and the Rangers poke it up to the near side. Here they come. LaRouche, that's Dion over the line. Left side, right out in front to the Greshner trailing the play, and the Flyers get it up to center. Mellenby one-on-one with Melnick. Swings wide to the side. They keep him off to the side. Now up to the middle. Shot on Froese. And a good save as Eklund. Froese has kept them in there. There'll be stories about that. Into the Flyer zone. Look out. Shot wide of Hextall's right. To the far side. Craven wants to get it out. Melnick keeps it into Jeff Jackson. Puts it behind the Philadelphia net. He rolls it right off to the near side. Missed signal, and that shouldn't happen. Then in front. And Marsh was able to poke it away from Jackson. With the Flyers again, whatever miseries they've had at times in the last 2 periods have been almost self-created. Puck in on Froese from center ice. And the Rangers to their own line. Podubny is stopped, and Carson wants to go in deep. Canada surrounded by 3 blue shirts. Kicks to center ice. Nice little move by the Rangers, but it's taken off nicely by Philadelphia and sent through on the near side to Cockett. Cockett misses the check thrown by Huber, and Froese with the loose puck behind his net. To Pat Price. Price looking, comes up the middle of the ice, through traffic, the puck at the Flyer line, lifts into the near corner, and there is McPhee around behind the net. He's blocked off. So is Dion, and the Flyers try to poke it up on the near side where they have an outlet to Cockett, to Derek Smith, and Smith puts it into center ice. Gets even more hair-raising as time progresses. 2-1 Philadelphia. Eklund on a breakaway, Smith on a breakaway, and Kerr inside, and they haven't been able to beat Froese this period. He's kept them within one mistake of tying the game. There's his steal at center ice. 2-on-1 Philadelphia. Prop and Poulin. Prop is there. Shot. Saves the Froese again. And the puck is in the defensive left corner of the Rangers. Podubny wants to set on it. We get a stoppage of play. Oh my, Froese is the story now. 5:45 remaining. Third period, 2-1 Philadelphia.
We were answering an emergency call for Bella, Pennsylvania Yellow Pages.
They're crawling out of the woodwork.
Termites, sir.
Yellow Pages, like these.
Frank?
This guy says he's got more than Yellow Pages.
Sure.
I say, what more could I want than genuine Yellow Pages?
From Bella, Pennsylvania.
Flyers have certainly had their chances. Peliakin one time the shot. Froese out there made the big save. Nobody picked up the rebound. Then it was Brian Prop who had a great chance. He took the shot from a bad angle, but he had a chance on the rebound. Froese kept his composure and made the rebound save as well. 2-1 Philadelphia with 5:45 remaining.
After that difficult first period, back to Samuelson, a shot. Oh, and it got over Froese's shoulder, but missed the crossbar. And the Rangers, Duguay on the near side, tries to put it to center ice. After that difficult first period when the Flyers were outshot 12-8, the Rangers had so much heat on. There's a block in the zone. Look out. And Philadelphia is able to shovel it to center. The Rangers had 5 shots in the second period. One of those, the gift to LaRouche, and only 3 here in the third. As the Flyers crossman up through to Craven is onside at center ice and rolls it into the New York zone. As we come down to the final 5 minutes and change of regulation, 2-1 Philadelphia. The difference Kerr's goal late in the second period. Kerr in the corner, comes out of the corner, rolls it into the slot. LaRouche has it, outlets to center. Flyers try to break it free, and McCrimmon couldn't control, and there's Don Maloney back into his end to Melnick, and up through Dion. Dion, little double pass to Duguay. Duguay looking for Don Maloney, rolls it into the zone, and he's cut off by McCrimmon, and Howe puts it up at center. James Patrick knocks it free, but Eklund comes back the other way with McCrimmon on the near side to McCrimmon. Into the slot, one-timer, not all of it for Craven, and then Duguay sits on it. That should be a penalty. Oh, no, unbelievable. That's all right. Now, what happened was, in a correct play by Gregson, Duguay fell on it, but then Froese came out and jumped under him and covered the puck.
That's the only reason. Gregson was there very quickly, but it was like recovering a fumble. You could tell the Rangers are tired. Before, they would have just controlled that puck and tried to clear it.
He was getting ready to snap it there for a while.
Yeah. Now Froese comes out. He took his time. He had a lot of time. He could have called that a delay of the game, but Froese got out there, so he's giving the benefit of the doubt. Well, it's white knuckle time. 4 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the third period. Flyers lead the Rangers 2-1. It is hot out there. You just have to take a look at the faces, at the uniforms.
Now, Howe is in discussion with Gregson about that.
What's their 5th game in 7 nights as well, Bobby?
Yep. Philadelphia, Mellenby, along with Craven and Coolin, McCrimmon and Howe. Duguay has been on the ice almost all night, it appears, particularly when the faceoffs are in the Ranger zone. Out there with Patrick and Huber, and Erickson with Dion. There's a steal by Mellenby along the right side. Dion trying to break him off the puck, and then Duguay steals it, sends it to center. Howe has it there, couldn't find the handle, but Coolin does, and lifts it in on the bounce to the right of Froese. We're coming down to 4:15 remaining in the regulation, 2-1. There's a pass, and overskating it is Jackson at center ice. Dion puts it into the Philadelphia zone. Flyers have it there. McCrimmon outlets off a body to center ice, and here comes 3-on-2. Drop pass up the middle. Derek Smith, and almost got inside Huber, and Huber sends it through to center ice. Dion coming along with Erickson. Dion over the line. Drop pass. Oh, and I tell you, Jeff Jackson, if he handled the pass, would have been all alone. Now the Flyers coming back. Derek Smith. He shoots wide of Froese's right. Flyers trying to get the puck on the near side and pop it up in the air. It's spun by Melnick in the corner, taken off by Tocchet. Tocchet around behind the net, bumped by Dion. Now Tocchet comes out, turns in front, and a little tip shot by Derek Smith, and again Froese comes up big with 3:35 remaining in regulation. As they jam the net, it remains 2-1 Philadelphia.
Do you know what it's just working around the net? The Rangers are really tired. You can just see it. Their changes are getting slower. They can't even ice the puck out of their own zone, but that deflection by Smith and Froese in that butterfly style makes the save. They got to start shooting more and more and more from the top of the circles instead of down close. But they're giving the Rangers a chance to catch a breather here in all these face-offs. Commercials are being called, and that helps a lot, too, if they take extra time in that. But the Rangers are tired.
Kerr, Eklund, and Propp along with Crossman and Marsh. Puck behind Froese. To James Patrick back to the point where Crossman will keep it in. Eklund has trouble handling it, puts it behind the net. Kerr is blocked off by Duguay. They fight for the puck. Duguay kicks it clear, and Patrick then overskates behind it. He's first time showing signs of a little wear. Gets it up at center ice, and the Rangers, McPhee. Head Manning trying to find Kulak, but it rolls behind the Philadelphia net. Flyers a little lack, and we have an icing called as it was touched up just in time. 3:11 remaining. Kulak almost got in there to keep that onside.
Drill Propp along the boards in the icing. See, this is what the Rangers want. They want this kind of a little scrum here so they get the extra breather right now. Flyers should just turn, like I said, turn the other cheek. Let them, if they got the check on Propp, you got to let a guy know But if nothing's going to happen of it, get out of there then. Unless you're going to get there and drop them with a good one. Because right now you have them on the ropes. Don't let them off.
Flyers have outshot the Rangers 31-8 over the last two periods. But as Eddie said, that's not the bottom line. The cash register reads 2-1.
You don't shoot them 100-1. There's only that one goal difference.
Craven, Mellenby, and Poulin, along with McCrimmon and Howe. Rangers Duguay out. He's going to sleep well tonight.
Now the juggling and the jockeying starts. They're trying to buy time, Rangers, and it's a smart ploy because Gregson's allowing them to do it so that they can give their troops a little extra rest.
Now on the near side, tries to put it far corner. There's Price along with Poulin. They tie one another up. Flyers get it behind the net. Kick free by Mellenby. He ties up Duguay. And now it's taken by Craven. Craven back behind the net. They don't want to throw it out in front. Oh!
The post.
A shot by Mellenby. Hit the post. As he got in and hit the post to the right of Froze. Now the Rangers in the corner want to shoot it out. Hand pass by Duguay to center ice as we have less than 3 minutes remaining in regulation. Flyers pop it up in the air. Bounces into their Ranger zone where Pat Price plays it to the near side. The Rangers trying to come up. Pass through into center ice, cut off by Philadelphia. Sent down that right wing, and there goes Mellenby penetrating with a shot wide of Froze. Poulin picks up the rebound behind the net, sends it to Mellenby. Mellenby back to Poulin in front. Backhand shot to Kerr, and he took a whack at it to make that Craven. And it was covered by Froze again. 2:20 remaining in regulation. 2-1 Philadelphia.
The Flyers had a good opportunity there as had a three-way passing play, and eventually the shot was taken at Froze. He made the save to keep the score 2-1. Just prior to that, Mellenby had a real great chance. The winger was just coming in from behind, just snaps it off quickly off the goal post. The Flyers have had many, many good opportunities in the third period, and they just have not been able to beat Froze. The Flyers had a couple of good chances just this last shift, and they've had 3 or 4 breakaways, but it's been Bob Froze.
2:20 remaining regulation. Duguay again out there. Draw one by Tocchet. Duguay then slashes at the center ice. Samuelson's going to have to put pressure on by Don Maloney. Drives it up the far side to center. Flyers poke it through to Derek Smith down that right side, trying to find Carson. The pass behind him, but the Rangers a little lax. They pick it up though on the near side, trying to roll at the flyer line. Breshner has cut off. And you can see now the Rangers are laboring as they don't have that extra step, but still a long way to go when you're only up by 1 with 2 minutes remaining and less than 2 minutes remaining in regulation. LaRouche, who has the only goal, pulled off his skates. Flyers trying to take it. They have a 2-on-1. Derek Smith in front. Shoots, and it was deflected wide. Again, this time by Thomas Sandstrom. Flyers putting it in front. Knocked down as Froze lost his goalie stick. The Rangers clear it to center. Flyers drive it right back in. We have a minute and a half left. Scary time because anything can happen. There's a steal. Off it lost as it appeared that Prop was going to go right on in, but the puck bounced. Now Sampson tries to go in, puts it around behind Hextall. Hextall looks, clears it off the far side. Flyers tap at the center, and here comes Kerr. With a minute 15 remaining. Kerr into the zone, drops off. The Flyers overskate. Huber back at center ice, trying to roll it through at the line. Eklund takes it off to Crossman. He punches it up to Kerr. Kerr lifts it in the air. It bounces to a Ranger. They want to come into the Philadelphia zone. There goes Froze for the net. There goes Jackson in front. His shot, and it was deflected off to the far side. Pat Price in front and deflected to the near side by Philadelphia. And then it's outletted. And Huber on the near side tries to contain it at the blue line and does with 49 seconds remaining in regulation. As the Rangers winged one from the right side by Jackson, one on the left side by Huber, and both came through the goal now, scarily so. Now the face-off will come to center ice as Froze had gone off with about a minute and change remaining, and they're going to keep him out. 2-1 the score. Shots for the game, 39-21. In this period, 16-4 Philadelphia, but with no score, anything can happen, and now the timeout for the New York Rangers. Their 30-second call. I wonder if Mike Keenan might not call his right after it to give his defensive squad another blow and a breather. Jackson Jackson, who was on the left-hand shot from the right boards, had an angle on the net, stopped, and then got a screen and drove it toward the goal and hit a skate and went to the far side of Hextall. Now Gregson is saying, let's go. You only get 30 seconds. Face-off out at center ice. Boy, this has been a grinder. Rangers dominate the first period, 12-8. The shots for them. Toppett scores early in the second. Flyers make a mistake on trying to clear the puck away from LaRouche. Hextall gets caught missing a poke check, and LaRouche shoots it into the open net, and then Kerr at 14-13 of the second period with a little tap pass throws, and that's the margin. All right, the Rangers with the extra man out there. They go Sandstrom left, Patrick right, Duguay, along with LaRouche, Dion, and Jeff Jackson for Muscle. And the Flyers have Poulin, Derek Smith, and Tocchet on with Howe and Crossman. Puck comes back to center. The Rangers try to drill it in and do. Hextall will look off the near side to the blue line. Rangers keep it in. Flyers trying to roll it up on the near boards. They cannot. Rangers trying to put it toward the net, kicked away, and the Flyers' Tocchet should get it up the far side, and Derek Smith should head to the open net. There's a thrown stick. Automatic goal, Philadelphia. That's an automatic goal. Right now, that's it. It's an automatic goal for throwing your stick at the puck. And the Flyers are going to win this one, my friend. That's just the second time that has happened in Flyer history. Early in the 70s, Serge Lajeunesse on the Flyer bench in Buffalo in a similar situation did the same thing. And the Flyers lost by the 2-goal margin. And Derek Smith was home free, and the Rangers realized that, so the stick came and touched up, and let's see to whom that goal will be allowed or awarded. Will it be the last Flyer to touch or the closest Flyer, who was Derek Smith? I'm going to put it down here. Awarded.
Flyers goal scored by number 22, Rick Tocchet.
All right, since Derek Smith didn't touch it the last one, awarded an empty net goal. Stick thrown, if I may tell you as I write. That will be Tocchet.
Fifth goal of the playoffs, unassisted. Time 19 minutes, 34 seconds.
Let's see who threw the stick. It had to be Jeff Jackson. Yeah, Jeff Jackson. And so Tocchet was the surprise leading goal scorer. But 26 seconds, my friend. And it was a grinder all the way, and the Flyers really seemed to come on and dominate the last two periods. But in the Ranger zone, Tocchet with 2 on the night for the second time. I'll tell you who has to be the number 1 star. Bob Prose was superb tonight for New York. Puck at the Flyer line, rolled into the near corner. 5. Well, the Flyers are going to go up, my friends. 3 games to 2 and a big one. There's a play by Erickson. The game is over. They go to Ron Hextall, who had a big first period. Flyers make some mistakes that forced them to come up big. And then in the second period, with a nursing a 1-goal lead, puck rolled in, and Hextall gambled way out to the top of his left circle to beat LaRouche. The puck did not. LaRouche then swung wide, and Samuelson ineffectively trying to play goaltender. LaRouche put it in from Greshner. But from that point on, Kerr's goal gave them the spark. And despite brilliant goaltending by Froese, the Flyers dominated the last period. Officially, the shots now, 17 Philadelphia, a game total of 40. Just 5 for the Rangers, a game total of 22. Just 10 over the last 2 periods. There were 2 penalties in the last period, 1 apiece. They were 6-6 for the game. Final score again as the Flyers win. But this was the most beautifully played of the game. Well, Rick Tocchet just picked up, so we have to reread the penalties. Tocchet picked up 2 minutes for elbowing at 20 minutes. And for Tocchet, that gives him 18 penalty minutes. And the Flyers' 7th penalty of the game. But that's all innocuous. 3-1 Philadelphia as we go to Lou Nolan for the 3 stars.
This evening's 3-star selection is made by Mark Eccles, sports writer for the Trenton Times. Star number 3 for the Flyers, Derek Smith.
He was indeed outstanding.
This evening's 2nd star for New York.
Absolutely.
And tonight's 1st star for the Flyers, Mark Howe.
So So it is Derek Smith, number 3, Pros, number 2, and Markow, number 1. Final score. Flyers go up in the series 3-2. Philadelphia 3, the Rangers 1.